The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig!
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, October 1st, 2024, Rabbit, this program starts now. Football is awesome. 2 games last night on Monday Night Football, and don't look now, the Dolphins might suck. Until Tua comes back. Is Tua coming back? Seems like all signs are pointing at yes. And the Dolphins need him back because Mike McDaniel's offense and Mike McDaniel's team without Tua has been horrendous. That continues last night. As Snoop Huntley, formerly Pro Bowl quarterback, does not look fantastic. And on the other side, Will Levis has a shoulder injury. Mason Rudolph comes in and does his thing. Now, ex-quarterbacks that are on TV in a facility, Chase Daniel says, I see more out of Mason Rudolph in one game than I've seen out of Will Levis in his entire season.
Yep.
Will Levis is obviously a guy that has thrown some ridiculous picks, had some absurd turnovers. This one, he hurts his shoulder diving, laying out for a first down because no play is dead for Will Levis. That is a trait that some quarterbacks have had in the history of the NFL. Will Levis seemingly has that exact trait. Here it is. I'm going to get it. Good play for the team. Great play for the team.
Effort.
But at what cost? Well, his shoulder. I think he separated it. Then there was a shot on the sideline. I think he was trying to either pop his shoulder back into place or get a little bit of a stretch in that thing. His facial expression that he made on the sideline obviously went very viral because he looked absolutely absurd. And on the flip side, Mason Rudolph said, "You got it, pal. You asked for it. You got it." Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer will lead you to a phenomenal dub on Monday Night Football with Fowler, Riddick, Dan Orlovsky,
What?
and Laura Rutledge on the call. That game stunk.
Terrible.
It was a tough game to watch. That was a terrible game to watch.
Brutal quarter.
Which means, thank God, there was another one on. 8:15 Eastern in Detroit. Seattle Seahawks with Geno Smith, who is a dog. He is absolutely spinning it right now. McDonald, the new head coach over there, defensive guy from the Baltimore Ravens, has a great team. But the Detroit Lions in their Motor City muscle tarps.
Hell yeah.
With the blue helmets on primetime, led by a quarterback who had a perfect 18 for 18 night while also catching a touchdown en route to a big-time dub over the Seattle Seahawks. Feels like the MCDC-led brand new Lions are all the way back to who we thought they were going to be.
Yes, sir, Pat. Yes, sir. This offense was outstanding last night, and they have everything. If you need a little grind and pound, you got Monty and you got Gibbs in the backfield. If you need a little slice and dice through the air, you give it to St. Brown. If you need a little dump off, you give it to Laporta. And if you need an explosive, all right, we got the fastest guy on the field, Jameson Williams. This offense was unbelievable. Goff, unbelievable. Ben Johnson, unbelievable. Super Bowl is on the way. We feel real good in Detroit right now.
Congrats on a great Monday night.
Thank you.
Foxy. Happy
Thank
for you. Happy for the Detroit folks. Also happy for Jared Goff, who puts up a perfect game in primetime on Monday Night Football. 18 for 18, historic record. Also catches a touchdown, looks very clean doing it. Late hands on the throw from Amon-Ra St. Brown. Even high steps it a little bit. And this is 21-14 game, very important. Ben Johnson pulling out all the tricks. Late hands, you can't get this. Sorry. And then I don't love that move. The only mistake I think that was made out of Jared Goff last night was him hucking the ball into the crowd. Not saying Detroit Lions fans don't deserve it, but Amon-Ra St. Brown just threw a touchdown pass. Maybe we keep that thing on the mantle for a little bit. Jared Goff, too excited, too jacked up, too athletic, said, listen, Amon-Ra just inspired me to throw this son of a bitch to the top deck. That place was packed out. That place was loud. Calvin Johnson goes into the pride of Lions at halftime. Seemingly a perfect night in the city of Detroit. Afterwards, I think J-Mo came out and said, this city's on fire. Detroit Tigers right now playing great. Lions are all the way back. We got the music. I'm sorry. the Motor City, muscle. Tarps out. People are loving it. It's a great time to be a Detroit Lions fan.
Yeah, and all that history last night with Jared Goff, and somehow, some way, he just doesn't end up getting the game ball.
Let's go to MCDC's press conference afterwards whenever he learns of the historic evening that Jared Goff had in real time and is as transparent as MCDC has always been.
Well, I just gave the game ball to somebody else, so I feel awful right now. No, I knew he played a heck of a game. I did not realize he was perfect. I did not know he was literally 18 for 18. But I knew he played really well. You could feel it.
Good.
And he really found his rhythm early, and I thought he was seeing the field, played with rhythm. He had to move a little bit in the pocket. I thought what really kick-started him is he had to kind of move in the pocket, got spun around, and hung with J-Mo and hit him on the hook for the first down. It was big, man, because he was rolling after that. But just a number of huge throws, played with poise, got us in the right play. It was a heck of a play down in the red zone on the catch. Good throw by Saint. Been working that.
Saint, good name.
I just thought it was excellent. And credit to Ben Johnson too. I thought he called a heck of a game. It was a good game plan, and really everybody on that offense, stepped up and found a rhythm today.
So MCDC had no idea he was perfect. Now, you would wonder to yourself, how's that even happen?
Come on, Coach.
How's that even well, not only Coach, there's normally people that as you're leaving, like the PR, the SID person, it kind of catches you on the sideline and says, like, hey, here's stats for the night. Here's the history that was made potentially. Here's this. I guess in Detroit, that does not happen until after the MCDC addresses the team. That was the information we were given. That makes sense, especially if MCDC's in there excited to talk to the boys. I don't need to deal with stats right now, man. Okay, I'm trying to talk to my guys. Whatever the case, happy it got righted. I assume Jared Goff did not give a shit about not getting a game ball in the locker room. And I bet Jared Goff went to bed last night thinking to himself, thank God I got traded to Detroit. What a perfect match for a city. We went up there for the draft, and it was awesome. It was packed out. It was crazy. I think Detroit hosted a phenomenal draft up there. I think their fans showed up. I think a lot of people traveled. There's only one chant taking place in through that entire city, and it's Jared Goff. Jared Goff. Jared Goff. You go to other cities, there's chants, for teams, and everybody kind of echoes it. Even Michigan State, in the area, go Green!
Go what?
That is literally Detroit's chant right now. It's Jared Goff's name. They're saying it at Tigers games. They're saying it at Red Wings games. They were saying it in the streets whenever we were there for the draft. So for Jared Goff to show up in a way that he did in a massive NFC matchup with the Seattle Seahawks, I'm nothing but pumped for him and the city. Good for you guys. The Talk to Table is here at Boston Connor, and Bruce Brown still in for Tigers out on assignment. Should be a fantastic thing. Con Man. Doubleheaders on Monday Night Football. We like it because if there's a crop game, you can go to the other game.
Bingo.
But it's hard to pay attention to both of them, which I was trying to do last night.
Yeah, very hard, but that's why it's so awesome having such a crap game, is that it's not even like a chance, okay, hey, Fins and Titans might pick up. That was never happening. So it was perfect that those were the two kind of options there. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, you mentioned it. He absolutely should be the starter, but hey, that's a conversation for another day. And Will Levis football is still the most electrifying thing to watch. He threw a pick last night. I didn't even see him. Came to the sideline. I couldn't. I didn't even see that guy.
Yeah, and shout out to the Monday Night Football people zooming in on his face. I didn't see him at all. And then obviously your tweet, audible laugh by me whenever I saw it.
Nice.
And I think I wasn't the only one. I think a lot, we know, dude.
Yeah.
That is literally everybody's response to Will Levis. I think we're all fans of Will Levis's moxie.
Absolutely.
But I think we've seen this song and dance before with players in the NFL. This particular style of quarterback, great in college.
Yes.
Great in high school.
Electrifying.
I assume great. In the NFL, though, they will take advantage of you.
They'll get you.
You will get got, and he has been getting got. Now, will he be able to adapt, overcome, evolve, mature as a player? We shall see. But right now, whenever he's on, it's must-see TV. And that's not because it's pro Titans. That's because anything could happen here. We've seen a couple of... Carson Wentz was like this. Jameis Winston, when he was blind, was like this.
Exactly.
There's been a couple players in the past at that position. Andrew Luck, but he was much more good.
Yeah.
9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler.
What was that about? Throwing him in.
Much more good. Much more good is obviously a great sentence. But yes, Andrew Luck was electrifying every play. was no give up.
It was never say die. If he threw a pick, he was going to be in there trying to make a strip tackle, trying to make a big hit, try to be a linebacker. You love that mindset, like you said. And once again, if you're good, that's a huge caveat there. And obviously, Will Levis isn't to that point yet. Yeah, that game was shit. I am a fan because I feel like now it's just back-to-back doubleheaders we had where one game is stunk. And the other game has been an absolute banger.
Well, a lot of people would say that Titans-Dolphins game should have never been given the Monday Night Football nod, which is why then they do have the second one.
Yeah, I mean, we thought
preseason.
Yeah, preseason we thought it would be good. Titans made a bunch of offseason moves. Obviously, we thought the Dolphins would be good. Obviously, we think Tua would be healthy. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, blah, blah, blah. So preseason.
People thought Titans? We thought Titans?
I thought they had a chance to be much improved.
Not this while. I mean, I could have, and thank God I didn't think that Levis would be like this because the expectations have surpassed them by a mile. But I don't know if anybody thought like, hey, the Titans are going to light the world on fire in primetime.
Yeah, it was still the Houston Texans AFC South. It was still, Indianapolis Colts.
I think Jags even were ahead of the Titans.
Yeah, because Vrabel gets fired. Obviously, they're in a potential transition era with the Callahans coming in there and doing their thing. So I think the reason why there potentially was 2 games is because one of the games granted, it could have been Dolphins just beating the shit out of the Titans is what they thought. But like Seahawks-Lions, now that is a game worthy, of being scheduled before the season. And it lived up to the billing.
It delivered.
It absolutely did.
Geno Smith was great. Obviously, it was a loss, but the way he's been throwing the ball, he was under pressure at times, making unbelievable throws. Kenneth Walker being back in there.
That touchdown and the head flip.
That last touchdown, the angles he broke and took, he is an unbelievable player. Obviously, we know DK Metcalf, Lockett, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Just a bunch of weapons on both sides of the field. You knew, I said it before the game, hey, this is the same game parlay type of game. There'll be a lot of stats, a lot of catches, a lot of touchdowns. Jared Goff, Ben Johnson was unbelievable. A lot of run after catch too. So hey, hitting guys in rhythm, you take it, do the big thing. That run up Montgomery had after the catch when Witherspoon came up, tried to smack him, boom, took that. Just outstanding game all around. But Jared Goff, for him to come out and play like that on prime time, I think they have a bye week now, so they have a couple weeks off. But if you're a Lions fan, you feel great right now. The helmets look much better on TV with the unis.
The fact they won, I think it makes them look good.
I'm a fan of the blue helmets.
Yeah, I like the entire fit was
clean.
The All Blacks are always going to be awesome.
Yes,
but you're right. The Blues looked much better than I thought it was from the pictures and the game. But I think it's because they were playing so good too.
Yeah,
it's like one of those Giants uniforms.
Yeah,
with how they looked and they were ass. It's like, get those things out of my face forever. Lions showing up, celebrating Calvin Johnson, playing great football. And you talked about the head flip. It was like a flip bump that he had in the middle of the game after getting tackled twice.
Yeah.
It was Kenneth Walker. This is absurd. I mean, just agility. Boom.
How?
What?
Yeah, he's still up.
Yep.
Obviously, everybody has seen that already. But at this point, got to give that. Good tackle, right? Nope. Let's get him down again. I'll sit on his head. Nope. Flips off of his head and keeps it going. That's like a wrestling. They have the wrestling. It's like a lucha style. I don't know the proper term, but it's like a flip bump almost. And him doing that off of his head in a game and being that explosive, like kipping up off of his helmet.
Yes,
phenomenal stuff. He's good. The Seattle Seahawks team, very good. That's why it was difficult to kind of pick the game. It was like Lions. Obviously have been great, but they have a game this season where they've looked. Seattle Seahawks have been phenomenal, seemingly. Seahawks have been great. McDonald kind of steps in there. Tough to pick. I think obviously being in the pride of the Lions den is going to be tough. Detroit fans showed up, made it difficult. But this Lions team, they're tough. They're innovative, they're creative, they're aggressive, and they have the guy at quarterback who seemingly matches the city perfectly. He was down and out, cast aside.
Oh, yeah, get out of here.
Sean McVay goes on vacation in Mexico with Matthew Stafford and says, this guy's so much cooler than the golf course. Get this guy the hell out of here. Then obviously Matthew Stafford and the Rams win a Super Bowl in L.A. That's a big deal. And all Goff has done is just build up trust, respect, and credibility with the city of Detroit for good reason by showing up in a massive fashion, having a perfect game on Monday Night Football. What a time to be in Detroit.
The defenses are obviously different, but when it comes to just watching the offense, they're kind of like the Niners. They can run the ball all night if they really want to, and then anytime Goff steps back to pass, he's got a bunch of time, and it feels like no matter what, he's hitting the window or just some wide open receiver. Like the J-Mo touchdown, that was one of the quickest. What was that? One of the quickest touchdowns of the season we've probably seen this year, just in the fact of like the speed of it, which Fox already mentioned. But like there wasn't anyone near him. Like the play drawn up, Amon-Ra looked like he was open,
wide open.
Yeah, on a post on 20 yards behind J-Mo. So like the Lions as a team does feel like one of those teams that's like, okay, maybe this is the year for Detroit. What if Detroit actually does put it together and go from the team that we watched Jared Goff sprint off the field when MCDC won his first game when they were like 1-13. He's like throwing his helmet off. I can still remember that scene. To now where they're wearing their all black unis, look sick. The entire place is on fire and they're winning in big time primetime games. Like the Seattle Seahawks are a great team. I feel like that was one of the things
I like the Seattle Seahawks
coming away from it. Yeah.
If that game's in Seattle, I think we're having an interesting conversation.
Definitely.
Bill kind of talked about, he laid it out yesterday with Jared Goff, like the first and second down pass. And I think he's a good third down passer as well. But the first and second down pass, and when you have a running attack like they do in the offensive line, like as a defense, your first thing is, hey, we got to stop the run. We can't let Gibbs or Montgomery. They do a great job of kind of switching it up. It's not like, hey, Gibbs in here expects something on the edge or screen. Like he'll run between the tackles, and Montgomery, he'll get on the edge. So when you have that balance and then you can play action, throw the ball down the field, like that's incredible.
Yeah, to your point there, from Hembo, Detroit gained 389 yards on Monday, 348 of which, 89%, came via the run game. 116 yards or play action pass, 232 yards. Wow. At his best, nobody marries the pass and run game better than Ben Johnson does, which goes exactly back to your point. And they'll do creative shit.
Yeah.
They'll do trick shit, too. Yeah. It's not like he's a weapon.
So hard to game plan and execute when you're a defense. You're a linebacker, a safety. You have run keys, run responsibilities, and then you got to be obviously back in the window when you get a play-action pass. Then you always have some little wild screen or some tight end that you don't expect to get a little leak-out pass or something in the red area. So, I mean, they got it all clicking right now down in Detroit.
Is there a yak stat? Because at one point, I think it popped up on the bottom screen. It was like 268 pass yards, 210 or 12 yards after the catch. Like every single guy he hit, it felt like they were gaining 20 yards after they caught the ball. And that's credit to Ben Johnson just drawing it up perfectly.
Well, and also, and Patrick, obviously, we knew he was on that team.
Of course.
Late signing.
Of course.
Jared Goff, accuracy, too, when you talk to Yak. Accuracy is a big deal, and Saint put that thing right on. Jared Goff could have won for 30, 35 yards if he had to.
First pass attempt.
No, and ball's gone. There is no yak stat from Hembo, but Hembo did say Goff averaged 18.4 yards per dropback on first down. That's the best quarterback performance of the season on first down. Detroit gained 249 yards on 25 first down plays. And I think the Seattle Seahawks had the most first downs, I think, or something in a loss in the history of the NFL.
38 of them. 38 of them.
Jim threw 56 times.
There's one half of the hammer. Dahn. Cowboys, AP Tone. Yeah, the Seattle Seahawks, I think, played. It was a good game.
Well, and they like Bill said yesterday, they were out their top 4 defensive linemen, which is when you're going into the Lions and they have the best offensive line in football and they're going to run it down. Like going in there without your top 4 defensive linemen and playing that well. They didn't play that well on defense, but just overall as a team, pretty good.
I don't want to harp on the other game too much, but the other half of the hammer, Dahn, Cowboys. Gumpy, we mailing it in on this Miami Dolphins team if Tua's not playing, Paul?
I don't think it matters if Tua is playing at this point.
Whoa. Well, I saw the stats. Put the stats up, Foxy. It does matter if Tua's playing.
Like, we'll be better, but it's not going to get us anywhere. Like, we were down the whole game to the Jags. We were down, I think, 14, maybe more when he was in against the Bills. We haven't been good all year, to be honest. And the defense has played really well. Everyone says they're not. It's because the offense can't move the ball and they can't get off the fucking field. It's not the defense's fault. The defense is actually playing really well, but you can't move the ball. And you do have to throw the ball forward to move forward sometimes.
Yeah, I saw that lateral happen, and it was like very early, very obvious.
Yeah. Snoop threw a strike to Waddle right down the pipe to start the game. Didn't try that pass again until the game was over.
Yeah, a lot of the offense seemingly was just like, how do we complete passes behind the line of scrimmage? How do we keep the movement? And how do we keep this thing safe the entire time? Which is not Dolphins football and has not been McDaniel football. Now, to that point in this entire thing. When Tua comes back, they look vastly different on the offensive side because they're running McDaniel's full offense because Tua understands it. It's taken a lot of time to learn it. We watch in Hard Knocks. It's not easy to learn that thing, which makes you wonder why with Snoop don't you just do a Snoop Huntley offense you can run? You know, we're seeing LaFleur with Malik Willis. Do a Malik Willis offense. Even see Tennessee Titans with Mason Rudolph last night run like a Rudolph offense. It feels like McDaniel, whether it was Skyler last week or now Snoop this week, it's like we're running our shit. It's like, well, why don't we try to
let the mobile quarterback move as well? And this is the easy part of the schedule as well. Like after this, it is terrible for the Fins. It's a gauntlet once Tua gets back.
He doesn't mean the Patriots.
All right, no, it gets real tough next week.
We're underdogs at New England on Sunday.
What?
So
I mean,
fascinating. Who's going to play quarterback there? That'll be fun to watch. What type of offense are they going to run? That'll be fun to watch. Tua coming back to play football is just seemingly now everybody's.
Yeah, that's happening.
Oh, is that what happened?
Really?
Yeah, we're back.
We didn't know that.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
Unexpected.
Shocker. But, I mean.
There's also a bye week, so we didn't really need. Did he need to go on the IR? Because there's a bye week there.
Well, Miami was looking out and saying, hey, you need to take all the ample time you need to take. It felt like the day after that, there was a lot of people that hopped up on the highest horse that they could find. And they were saying, it's not good for his family. Is $100 million good for his family? It's not good for football for him to come back. He runs the number one offense in the NFL. Whatever. It's not good for Tua. Is this his love and his obsession and his passion? Is there any thought of any of that stuff? Or is it just time to say, I don't like seeing a guy look like that on a football field on prime time, so he needs to retire for the good of his family? My kids, if they ever saw their dad do like that, I would hopefully be able to retire so that they never have to see that again. It's like, you're really interjecting yourself into this Tua Tagovailoa situation, but I appreciate the fact that you went to your high horse barn and grabbed the highest horse you could possibly get. And it wasn't just one person. It was everybody.
Yep.
Former players that know how Tua is going to feel about it. You think that's how he wants to go out? Hey, no. What about his kids, though? It's like, Jesus Christ, we're getting real heavy on this entire thing, and I agree. I don't like seeing somebody knocked out like that.
It's very serious.
It's very scary and everything like that, but if a doctor was going to clear Tua,
he was going to play football.
Tua was going to play. I mean, now it's all on will the doctors clear him? Have a neurologist been able to meet with him? It's a lot of questions. Do you know any more about that, Gums?
No, nobody knows anything. It's been great. Everyone wants to talk about it, but nobody wants to tell us what the fuck's going on. Like, the guy's on IR. There's a bye week there. There's a bye week in there, too. So, like, I don't know what we're doing. This is Dolphins football at this point.
Man, you got to think just a little part of the Dolphins might think, like, why the hell did we put him on the IR? You got to think that.
Yeah. And why can't our coach adjust at all and just run the football and mix up the offense and get something that can matriculate just a little bit?
I don't know, because it felt like that game was over quick. You know, it was like we all knew what was going to happen in that game, seemingly pretty early.
Scoreboard was close, but it was never like, oh, Dolphins look like they can win this one.
And I appreciated the fact that much like March Madness, they had the other game score up on the corner, and they would drop down when the team was in the red zone. Yeah. Boy, that Miami Titans game, there's no action. I think it was just,
there was one red zone pop up. It was like,
holy
shit, we got it.
You get an interception to start the game, too. Throw it to Tyreek, just boots the ball to the other team. It's like, could have scored there, go up 7, like, completely different game, but just turn the ball over, no one does a damn thing.
New world we're in did have an example at the end of that game, 2 minutes left. An onside kick was attempted during a safety. Now, obviously, if you do not have sound on in the game, which I think happened to Tone and many people, you had no idea what took place. This was less than 5 minutes in the game, so you're allowed to declare that you're going to do an onside kick after a safety, so you're kicking off from the 20. Ball has to be kicked out of a hand. I don't think it can be grounded. That's kind of the safety rules. They kind of peter it on the Tennessee Titans side of it. The Dolphins get it. That's Colt Anderson, former personal protector of mine, Montanimal dog. Everybody is a fan of this human that has met him. He thinks that his team just messed it up, did not see where the ball landed.
Fair catch it.
Yeah, fair catch it is what he's saying. They're saying peter it. Now, here's the rule if you were not paying attention. In this new world that we're in, when you declare an onside kick, whether it be from the 35 or from the 20 after a safety, the ball has to be completed or touched within 25 yards of where the ball is being kicked. So this ball would have had to have dropped inside the 45-yard line because it's being kicked from the 40. So it was 2 yards too long. Therefore, it is an illegal formation or some sort of personal foul, half the distance to the goal from where the ball was kicked, the Tennessee Titans would end up with the ball on the 10-yard line going in after this play.
Yeah.
Everybody was confused. It didn't have the sound on. Everybody was flustered about what the hell was going on. It was a penalty against Bailey, who did the punt 2 yards too long. If that thing lands at the 45, they peter it, it hits the ground, and the Dolphins get it. First down, Miami Dolphins. 2 yards too long, peter that thing. First down, Tennessee Titans on the 10-yard line going in. They're really telling people, are you sure you want to do an onside kick? You can declare an onside kick, but are you sure you want to do it? It'd be the same thing from the 35. It'd be a 15-yard penalty as opposed to the 20-yard line because it's half the distance to the goal because you don't do 15 from 20 and in. So insane ending. New hybrid kickoff. I think returns are up. Injuries are down. Everything's working. But there's a moment like this on Monday Night Football at the very end when a lot of people are falling asleep and don't have a sound on. And the person in the booth, who's the ref person, had no idea what the hell was going on. I don't think anybody did, including Colt. Colt was very confused. He didn't know where the hell the ball dropped. He said he thought it hit the 45, and he thought he was going to be on the receiving end of history, the first person to ever give that entire thing up. So he's like, what are you doing? Better catch the damn ball. His guys, they were saying it was outside of 45.
We knew, Coach.
Yeah, his guys are, we knew. He's on the far side. You son of a, you see him doing the entire thing. So a little chaos there at the end of it. But the rule is 25 yards and in is the box in which the onside kicks can happen. If it's outside of there, it is a personal foul.
Foxy, can you go back to the very beginning just so we could see the clock on that situation? The score, 24-12 with 2:27 left. The over-under was 37. So this rule was just terrible for anyone that had the under in this game because they get the ball at the 10 and then score. I mean, this game was 22-6 with 4 minutes left.
I will act like I was awake for this. I was not. But if I was watching this game last night and all of a sudden they get first down at the 10-yard line after hearing what the booth described as what was happening there, boy. And if I was a Dolphins fan, I would be so confused about it all. But in Colt's like, that ball landed at 40. Colt thinks he's in. Colt thinks he's a part of history.
Yeah, getting fired.
Still learning.
The Titans touchdown hit the over here, too, at the end of the game. This is for the over.
Yeah, that's awesome. Obviously, the NFL is cooking. The new kickoff rule is its thing. Don't like Burks' hands on his hips there. Ball could come at you.
Yeah, did they know it was an onside kick?
Yes, they had to declare it.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure, because just looking at it, it seemed like they did it.
Yeah.
So the after safety onside kick, I forget who started doing it. They used to try to, somebody would either hold it or somebody, because you can't have a tee. So somebody would either hold it or guys would try to punt it at people or try to do the entire thing. Then somebody, I forget who it was, punted it straight up in the air. And there was like full chaos.
I didn't even know you could do that.
And everybody was like, that's the way to do this entire thing after the safety. So that is the kind of the modern way of doing it. Just like the little side spinning onside kick became the new thing, like a chopper kick. The high punt to get somebody hopefully that isn't used to handling a punt involved. And then there's miscommunication and chaos happens.
Wow.
Because after safety onside kicks is very difficult to get.
And does not have to.
It was electric.
Don't have to hit the ground. Ball doesn't have to hit the ground. So that have to be a drop kick, just be a straight point, obviously, just like that.
Yeah, so whenever there was a drop kick from the 35, I think Packers did it, ball has to be grounded on that particular kickoff. So the safety cannot be grounded. Then kickoff from the 35 has to be grounded.
Got it.
So that's why there was a drop kick from the Irish lad for the Packers, I believe.
Whelan,
I think he's the one that did it. And then that one was just punted straight out of hand, straight up in the air. It's wild. A lot of the rules. And once again, this is how, they're special teams coordinators. Like, they're trying to take advantage of all these rules. So that's why when this new kickoff comes in, it's like these guys are going to try to cook all these rules because there's so many little minute details. Happily got that out of the way. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, we are so incredibly lucky for this conversation.
Hell yeah.
Absolute legend whenever it comes to the sport of baseball. Sport of baseball right now, obviously, after what happened yesterday, both for the Mets and Braves, and to legend Pete Rose, it's the right time for this. Ladies and gentlemen, ESPN MLB play-by-play. He's got the Padres versus the Braves tonight, called the doubleheader yesterday, called Ravage. Ravi, sorry we had to explain it. Hell yeah. Sorry we had to explain.
Shit, I tell you one thing, Pat. I learned more about the onside kick rule than I ever even knew existed. And I thought baseball had some quirky rules. My God.
Hey, this is brand new, some of that, Ravi. You got to know, this is brand new, but it is a wild time for our sport. Feels like it's a wild time for your sport as well. Before we get into the playoffs and wild card series, which you'll be calling tonight, Padres, Braves, and then there's also Mets, Milwaukee Brewers, Tigers, Astros, Astros, Kansas City Royals, and Baltimore Orioles as the playoffs start for the MLB. We got to talk about the passing of baseball legend Pete Rose. I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which isn't the biggest baseball town, but everybody knew Pete Rose. Yesterday into this morning, there's just been highlights and stats showcased about Pete Rose. They call Charlie Hustle, I guess. I watched a clip with him, A-Rod, and Frank Thomas talking about how he's batting, and listening to A-Rod just be like so intrigued and like captivated by every word. And Frank Thomas doing the same thing, captivated. It's like obviously the baseball world, whenever it comes to baseball, has massive respect for this man. Is there anything that we need to know about Pete Rose, how baseball views him, and the loss of Pete Rose to the baseball world that you are obviously much more in touch with than us?
Well, I mean, I had a real interesting seat last night, doing that game. Eduardo Perez, who grew up in the Cincinnati Reds, clubhouse with Pete Rose Jr., Ken Griffey Jr., just guys that we've all known. So during the game, Eduardo's phone is ringing, and it's his dad calling. And his dad, Tony, watches every game. So his dad's watching the game and calling him, which immediately sends some red flags, as you know. This is my dad who watches. Why in the world is he calling in the middle of a game? And it was clearly urgent. And then all of a sudden, Eduardo slips a note card over to me, and it just said, Pete Rose has died. This is just as the game has ended. And this was a guy that Eduardo was incredibly close with. So to find out about it that way was one thing that now I'll never forget that. Like, when did you hear about Pete Rose dying? Well, it was literally during the end of the wild card game between the Mets and the last game of the regular season between the Mets and the Braves. It was strange. He's told a million stories. I mean, the one thing you got to know about Pete, like many other people, I mean, in your field, like Ray Guy was that guy. In basketball, it was Jordan. In golf, Tiger Woods. There are certain threads that run through these individuals. One of them always seems to be they freaking hated to lose. It didn't matter what it was. Eduardo tells this bizarre story. Every birthday that they celebrated of Eduardo's was at Rose's house. And there was one year they put a piñata up. And it was Pete who ultimately had to grab the bat and waste the piñata and have the candy coming down after all the kids tried. He's like, you watch Charlie Hustle. You watch the King. I'll knock the candy out of that thing. There was another year, there was a Monopoly game they were playing. And at one point, Pete said, I see. You're all playing with fake money. Check this out. And he rolls out with $1,000 bill. I didn't even know there was a $1,000 bill, but he had a $1,000 bill. He was the center of attention guy. The hits and all that stuff are incredible. I looked at that 1968 season, for baseball folks and some of the guys sitting there in your room. That's the year of the pitcher. That's the year that, Bob Gibson's ERA was 112 and Denny McClain won 30-plus games. Drysdale had 6 consecutive shutouts. Carl Yastrzemski, I grew up in Massachusetts. Yaz won the batting title. He hit 301. Like, that's 301. That's nothing. The collective batting average in 68 was 230. Pete Rose hit 335. He, like Woods and like Guy and like Jordan, exceeded every expectation. He was just uniquely qualified to do what he did, which was hit a baseball. When you bat 335 and everyone else is hitting 230, you're doing something special. And those were some of the things that I remember about Pete Rose. This dang commitment to your craft is unbelievable.
Well, rest in peace to Pete Rose. We'll have a moment of silence for Charlie Hustle. You did good. Moment passed. Rest in peace, Pete. Baseball will miss you, pal.
Yeah, amen to that.
Sports media will miss you. Let's talk about baseball now. Big one happens yesterday. And obviously I heard before the game from Mets fans that are friends of mine, they're all pissed off. They're all pissed off. Now, this Hurricane Helene, obviously North Carolina, Georgia, there is a lot of things that are going to have to get dealt with because of the devastation for a long time. Our positive thoughts, prayers, vibes, everything to all those people. And obviously we will be trying to assist monetarily however we can whenever those things come about. But for the baseball world, those games get moved to Monday, doubleheader. with huge implications yesterday. In the Mets yesterday, in the 9th inning of the first game, hit a home run, Francisco Lindor, that puts them into the playoffs and is one of the most electrifying moments in Mets baseball history. Is that an accurate way to describe that, or are my Mets fans' friends being a little bit overdramatic in their texting to me?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's been a lot of frustration. Lindor's having an MVP-type season. This was clearly one of the biggest home runs, I think, in Mets history. Now, it's obviously in a regular season game, but it gets you into the playoffs. It's by a guy who is absolutely beloved and adored. The hug he received, not only there at home plate, but from his owner, Steve Cohen, just let you know what a relief it was, how big it was. He's a special guy, Lindor. He's down to earth. He's a superstar player. He knew that he got that ball and hit it over the wall, and yet his mannerisms were almost to suggest, dang, I missed that thing. And then after the game, he talked about, I don't want to show up the opponent. I'm not about any of that stuff. I'm there to put my bat down and run. Like, he's the opposite of Pete Rose. Like, this guy, Rose will let you know he got a hit. Lindor will just run around the bases and celebrate. Family guy, dedicated to his family that way, dedicated to the Mets. No, that was absolutely top 5, top 10 home runs in the history of the Mets. And there's that great shot of Diaz. And look at the difference. Edwin Diaz gets a high five because he wasn't great in that game. Lindor gets a hug like, you're my son. Like, I'm all in. I'm all about you. And let's go now take care of the Brewers. And no, that was as big a home run as I've seen, in Mets history. And there have been a bunch of them, from Piazza and 9/11, etc. That was a huge home run for a team that needed it. And it was a bizarre day. I mean, the idea that if both teams win a game, they both go to the playoffs. Post-game, Pat, they were sitting there on the field collectively, kind of hugging each other, celebrating, almost toasting each other with champagne. We did it. And Game 2 sucked. It was really slow. The pitching was terrible. You could tell that neither team really wanted to be there. The Braves had just gotten news that Sale, his back was out. He wasn't going to. You could the feeling after Game 1, which was euphoric, was such a letdown. But now you begin a second season. You turn the page, and hopefully, Atlanta comes here to San Diego ready to go.
All right, let's talk about that. Tone has a question for you, Ravi.
Yeah, I know MLB teams travel a ton, but you did that yesterday. Is the travel from Atlanta to San Diego, is that an issue today? And then the loss of Sale, the Braves have lost so many big arms. Yeah, they've lost so many big arms this year. The AAA guy was started for them in a game a must-win game. They had to go to a AAA pitcher yesterday. How do the Braves get by with their pitching situation?
He looked sweet.
He did.
Is this the mullet guy?
Yeah, it looked just
Holmes?
like Connor. Yeah,
legend.
Dog.
Love that guy.
Didn't win, but what a beast. What an absolute beast.
Absolute baseball guy. They had used him earlier. Then he comes out and throws like 4 innings of no-hit ball. I mean, every team should have a guy like that on it. And he was perfect. Travel to San Diego, look, not a problem. I mean, let me go Pete Rose and just talk about myself for a second. It's already been a great trip, only because I left my iPad charger, not that this has ever happened to anybody, but I left my iPad charger in the press box, so I had to wake up this morning in San Diego, find a CVS, and lo and behold, I locked right into a sweet iPad charger with one of those fast charge things. So good day here. The Braves don't have to worry about that.
You got to go to the lobby. You got to go to the lobby of that hotel, brother. You got to say you left it there last time you were there. It's classic move. They got a box of them underneath that.
Is that right?
Here you go.
Yeah, in the lobby desk. You go down. Listen, it's a little from the road. You've been on the road a long time. I've happened to as well.
I never thought of that.
Front desk. You were here last week. You forgot your thing. They'll have a box of chargers. They will have a box of chargers.
The good news is, CVS told me to keep the receipt, and I'm good. I'm bringing it back.
Be careful with those CVS charges.
Yeah,
what's that about?
You gotta be careful.
Okay, let's get
to the end. Let me answer Tone's question.
Yes, sir.
Flying here is not a problem. The bigger problem is Chris Sale's injury. They may start a guy, Ian Anderson, who hasn't pitched the big leagues in a couple of years. They got a couple of minor leaguers. Best of 3. What I think they hope for is that somehow they can win Game 2 and 3. It's going to be brutally difficult tonight with whoever they start against a Padre team in a Padre city. I don't know how much you've paid attention to what crowds look like. Philadelphia gets a lot of love for what they do inside the bank, and it's awesome. This place here, is as big a home field advantage as any, and they mash the Padres do at home. This team is ready to win a World Series. They have starting pitching galore. They have an all-star laden lineup. They have a bullpen that's tremendous. They have an owner who passed recently, Peter Seidler, who wanted nothing more than to win a World Series and put so much money into it. In a time where we criticize ownership for not spending money, this dude spent money and continues to do it now as his legacy even after. And A.J. Preller, who put this team together, has put together a team that is on the same par with the Dodgers and Phillies in the National League. They can win this thing, and tonight's going to be electric. And just a quick story, the guy that's starting the game tonight, Michael King for the Padres, Michael King's dad and I used to work together on a desk in Binghamton, New York. His dad was a news anchor while I was the sports anchor, and we are really close. So for me, it's incredible to see this kid that I celebrated his birthdays when he was born, now pitching game one. What an honor in a wild card series. Unbelievable.
Let's make sure we're non-biased out there, Robbie.
Be a homer. Non-biased.
Yeah.
I'll be non-biased. And he expects that from me. He's a smart kid. He knows that. I got no skin in this game, but I'm, personally, when people say, who do you root for? I root for people. I root for Aaron Boone to win a World Series. He sat next to me for years. I rooted for Francona, Dusty Baker, and Cora. Anybody that I know and like, I root for them.
Yeah, me too. And we were joking about the non-bias thing. If you saw this kid working on one of these pitches when he was 3 years old at his birthday, that's a good piece of information. That's a good piece of information, Robbie. Let's talk about number one seed now, and also a place that spent a bunch of money. There's some news coming out there. D-Butt got a question for you, Ravi.
Oh, yeah. As a casual baseball fan, I do lock in during the playoffs. We finally get to see baseball's biggest star, Shohei Ohtani, out there with the Dodgers. And I know he's had an incredible season, 50-50, first one in that club. But I saw a story a couple of weeks ago that hasn't ruled out pitching in the postseason. Is that true? Will we see Shohei on the mound in the postseason?
It's a great question. And how can you be a casual fan when you've read about this before and now you're at you're in.
We're in the sports world. We're in there.
That's right. Nothing getting by the McAfee crew or Pat. I know that.
That's right. Paul Skeen's 170 strikeouts. This guy.
You hear about the ports?
There you go.
Yeah, nothing's.
It wouldn't look. The thing about Shohei, and I should have probably mentioned him earlier in that Rose conversation, just about guys who exceed levels that most of the average, even above average guys and women do. He's that guy. When he got hurt, he decided, I'm going to dedicate myself to hitting and running, and he breaks, a historical mark with a 50-50 season. And all along, he's slowly kind of ramping up his pitching, and you're watching him throw in bullpens, and you're like, that dude is letting it rip. Like, this isn't 50%. This is close to 100%. And Dave Roberts is one of those guys who's really smart. He's been around the game as manager, and his answer to that question was, look, the answer about Shohei pitching is it's not zero, but it is close to zero. Personally, it wouldn't surprise me at all if they make a deeper run that Ohtani sort of goes to him and says, I'm ready. Like the doctors, the same way you talked about Tua, the doctors have said, I'm okay to pitch. Even if it's an inning, I'm going for it. It wouldn't shock me at all if Ohtani pitches.
What's that thing called? The World Classic?
The World Baseball Classic.
World Baseball Classic?
Yeah, the World Baseball Classic when he struck out Trout. Unbelievable.
Where he has the ball in his hands. Like, could you imagine Game 7 of the World Series, Shohei Ohtani just hit 2 dingers, obviously, the other way? Now he's got, put me in. Everybody on Earth, literally everybody on Earth would be watching that.
Definitely.
Would be great for baseball. But there's a chance, he could get injured, he's not in the flow. Why would they not have him pitch?
Yeah, I mean, that of course, that's the risk, and he hasn't pitched. I mean, one thing about baseball players, they're creatures of, I need to make sure I'm there. It was shocking when Sale said, my back spasms are kicking up, and they leave him on the roster, and maybe he can pitch in the division series. In the case of Ohtani, you can't just go from 0 to 100. He's not one of those electric cars that just accelerate. In baseball, you've got to ramp up. And they will tell you, and I agree with it, game situations do not mirror what's going on in the bullpen. But again, he's different. He's unique. He is the guy that you think, if anybody can do it, he can do it. And I'm certainly of the camp that if they get deep, he can do it.
Let's continue to talk about some of the top seeds in the playoffs. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Carl, it feels like the 1 and 2 seeds that get buys can sometimes kind of stumble and honestly screw it up for him. What are the benefits of, obviously having time off, but more so, how bad is it if a team is incredibly hot going into the postseason, then they have to sit for like a week and kind of lose all their mojo?
Yeah, look. It's been a conversation since baseball switched their formats, and these teams that win 100 games. Why in the world are they being bounced out of the postseason? It's a rust versus rest. I think that most of the teams that win and get the buys, and in this case, New York and Cleveland, Philadelphia and Los Angeles, will take that versus having to do, for instance, what the Braves are doing. The fact that we just ended the season Sunday, and here we are with the wild card teams starting all over again. It's one thing to be hot and keep it going. It's another to be, at this point of the season, banged up and getting some time off. Ideally, that's abbreviated, so it's not, 5, 6, 7 days. It's let's get right back to it. But I think what happens is you look at baseball, and it's different than your other sports. The NBA, Jordan's Bulls were going to win most of the time. Bird Celtics were going to get deep.
Amen.
In the NFL, Pat Mahomes, he takes his team.
He's going to win. Yes.
No, he's going to win. In baseball, it ain't that way. Baseball is different. And that's why even tonight going into this game, you assume the Padres are going to win. It hardly means they will, because baseball is quirky that way. The best player doesn't always win. In fact, rarely is it the best player that wins. There's a good chance Judge's Yankees don't win. Ohtani's Dodgers don't win. Harper's Phillies don't win. I mean, there's chances that are much better than in other sports where that stuff happens. I don't think this year is one of those where, because they haven't played in a while, the Dodgers, Phillies, Yankees, and Guardians all lose. I've heard Passan and others, and Tim Kirkshin, my good friend, say this year is as wide open as any. I do believe that.
All right.
I've heard that sound 100 times, 1,000 times.
Well, it's good, and that's why we have you on. We can't thank you enough for taking time on this glorious day. Busy day yesterday, busy time tonight. Hopefully you'll stop back again soon as this baseball playoffs continue to roll on. Good luck to everybody over there on the production, and good luck to baseball, brother.
You call me anytime you want. I love your guys there for all your baseball questions. Thanks, Pat, for having me. And I got a charger. I can't wait to go to the front desk right now.
They should. Boom. Normally, and if the first person you talk to is like, I don't think so, just go to the next person. They'll be like, yeah, we got a box. And they'll come and bring it.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, that's my Android? No. A lot of Androids in there.
Oh, yeah.
You can lead to what you think of Android people, that their chargers are going to be in abundance in the box that is left behind in a hotel. But you'll be able to find some good ones in there. Good luck, brother. You're the man, ladies and gentlemen. Carl Rabbit.
Yeah, Carl.
Baseball, not bad.
Not bad.
Baseball's happening.
This is the fun time for baseball. Like, I hate
days.
baseball, but I'll watch the playoffs.
I watch, they go to Iowa, they do that Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
I'll watch that because it's a little bit different.
Yep.
This Slam Diego team, are they still that?
Yes.
Is this what they are?
Yeah,
Are they still
same guys, yeah.
I'll watch them Phillies, whenever it's night.
Yeah, and they're going nuts.
And the bank is insane.
So sick.
And Bryce Harper's doing his hair flip, and then he's showing up and just hitting bombs.
Yeah, him and Schwarber.
Seriously, though, tonight, when that Padres game start, their crowd is unbelievable.
Yeah. That's what he said, like,
It's
hey, everybody
awesome.
gives
Gumpy's, I think it's like Gumpy's favorite crowd. It's
Slam Diego, it's bananas,
Petco
dude.
Park. The outfield's
Insane.
like a park, so it's like open. So it's basically standing room only in like a city park is the outfield. It's awesome.
Oh, that is awesome.
There's
Very
a great meme of a kid on the Padres or in the Padres, fan base, and he's clapping, and then he flips off a Dodgers fan. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but actually one of the best little hey, guy just hit a home run for San Diego. Let's go to the crowd. One of the best captures I think I've ever seen in all of sport.
That's awesome. Well, happy for baseball doing their thing. It matters now.
Yes, it does.
It matters now.
162 for this.
Speaking of things that are happening, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of NBA teams reported a training camp today. Yesterday was media day. To break it all down for us, I believe a man who's free. I don't know. Is Sham Charania?
Yeah.
Still with the Athletic in.
Feel the beast. Feel the beast.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Okay, we were going to. I forgot about it. That's 100% on me. Before Ravi, we couldn't do it for you. But nonetheless, basketball's happening again. We are reporting to training camp. We're seeing media day stuff happen. We're in it now, right? We're in basketball season now.
We're absolutely in basketball season. Media day was yesterday. A couple teams had it yesterday. Celtics, Nuggets, they were going to Abu Dhabi. They had it last week. But yeah, the NBA season is 3 weeks away. Teams have had decisions to make. I've eventually got a decision to make it here. But listen, for me, this is primetime basketball season. A lot happened. Pat, Friday night
Sham season. It's Sham season. It sounds like Sham season.
Right.
Hashtag up to something season.
Training camp.
Okay.
Karl Anthony Towns for Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and a draft pick. We don't see trades like this come up often, especially on the eve of training camp involving 2 All-NBA, All-Star caliber players. And obviously, I don't know if BC is sweating Karl Anthony Towns, on paper, they have to have. I mean, in my eyes, they have one of the best starting fives in the NBA. I still give Boston and the Celtics the edge as far as starting fives. We know what they've done. We know what they're capable of. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, those are 2 of the best 10 players in the league. You look at, obviously, Drew Holiday, everyone else in that starting lineup, Kristaps Porzingis, Derek White. But to me, the Knicks, this made them really up there. We'll see how their bench plays down the stretch and how that looks coming out of training camp. But this was a massive trade. This is something that the Knicks were quietly working on for months since the start of the offseason, since draft night. They offered Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson. That was a hard no. They continued to offer that. No. Then they finally put Dante DiVincenzo in. That was still a no, but at least there was a window open for them. And then they put in that first-round pick on Friday, and they get this massive deal done. We haven't seen a deal quite this big happen on the eve of the season in a while.
From the people that were talking, that we were paying attention to, felt like Julius Randle was probably not going to be a part of the Knicks this year. DiVincenzo, obviously, big deal there, right? That's a big deal. And if you're saying they've been working on it a while for Cat, doesn't he have history with Tibbs, right? Is Tibbs a big part of working on that, trying to get him over there? Is that
Yeah, because he played for him in Minnesota.
Right?
There was friction on the way out. When Tom Thibodeau got fired in Minnesota, there was friction between those two.
Like real heat, right?
Beef.
Like real heat. So if you're saying they've been working on it for a long time, Tibbs had to be like, yeah, it's okay?
1,000%. I think that beef is long gone. I think a lot of that was Karl Anthony Towns was in the middle of a Jimmy Butler, Tom Thibodeau. It wasn't a Cold War, but there was tension there. Tom Thibodeau, Jimmy Butler was his guy in Minnesota. That's the guy that he traded for. That's the guy that helped lead that team to the playoffs in Minnesota in quite some time. They couldn't get it done. The Jimmy Butler asked for a trade, and then it was really Jimmy Butler against the rest of the world, and that included Karl Anthony Towns. And so a lot of that was him getting caught in the middle of it. They've since gotten their relationship at a much better place. And trust me when I say this, Tom Thibodeau and that coaching staff, they wanted this trade. They wanted Karl Anthony Towns in the fold. And Julius Randle, there was a decision that Knicks organization had to make. Are you going to extend him? Do you want him part of your long-term future, or you don't? And they were not committing to Julius Randle long-term as of yet. They wanted to see how it played out during the season. So anytime you have a player going the last year of his deal with a player option, he is very viable to get traded. I think that would have been a year-long theme with Julius Randle. Where is he getting traded? Similarly for Cat. He's got so much money on his deal, 4 years, over $200 million. From Minnesota, they're so top-heavy. You think about the second apron, you think about the finances. They were going to eventually trade him as well. So the Knicks wanted him. That's been years in the making, and they got it done. They paid a price, but obviously in Minnesota's eyes, this is a risk too. I mean, you saw what Anthony Edwards said the other day. Like, that was his guy. Like, he wanted to play with Karl Anthony Towns moving forward. How does this impact them? I think this does give Minnesota more flexibility in the years to come.
Very interesting. Obviously, love Ant, so whatever he's saying, I think you should listen to over there in Minnesota. The New York, tough market, right?
Oh,
Carl?
Yep. Yeah.
A lot of people are going to have questions about Karl Anthony Towns and how he handles that New York market, because there's no question they're going to get on you. They were on Julius Randle heavy, and we saw Julius Randle. He would go back and forth with the fans at different points, but now at the end of it, everyone saw how tough Julius Randle was. He played through injuries, and he got them as far as they're going to get. At least over the last couple, decade plus.
Are they going to be able to get over the Pacers hump? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
On paper, they have the talent where you're looking into the season. Conference finals obviously is the goal for this Knicks team, or the NBA finals.
All right, good luck to all of them. We are coming up on a hard out here in like 5 minutes, and that's on us, not on you. We apologize for that. What are some other high-level shit we should be thinking about as this NBA season starts? Obviously, we are football stooges. What should we be thinking about as training camp launches everywhere?
Yeah, let's just go one by one. The Lakers, LeBron James and Bronny James, obviously. That we saw that finally, that duo yesterday. I would expect them to make their debut together the opening week of the NBA season, possibly opening night from what I'm told. And Bronny James will spend a lot of time on the active roster. Yes, once the G League season starts, he's going to be shuttling back and forth with the G League. But this is there's not a like you're only going to be in the G League. This is something for Bronny James. We're going to see him shuttle back and forth. You look elsewhere in the Western Conference, Dallas, obviously we saw Kyrie Irving, Jason Kidd, the way they spoke about Klay Thompson being the missing piece. Klay Thompson is very happy. He's going to start. He's going to play heavy minutes. And I think the respect level that he felt was missing in Golden State, he's going to get that. And another team to keep an eye on, and Pat, this is going to be a theme going into the season. Okay. The Denver Nuggets. This is a costly franchise. They just gave Jamal Murray a massive $209 million extension. He is part of their long-term future. We know Nikola Jokic is part of their long-term future. But they're at somewhat of a crossroads. They've got so much money invested in this team. One guy that needs an extension as well right now, Aaron Gordon. He's eligible for a 4-year, $150+ million extension. They need to pay him. They know it. But there are some salary restrictions moving forward in the years to come. And if they can't get there with an extension with him, you look into free agency next year with a player option, he's going to be coveted by any team with cap space. So that is a worry for Denver right now before the start of the regular season. And then I think we got to give shout outs to two people. Dikembe Mutombo, rest in peace. Giant of the game, legend of the game. He will be missed, 58 years old, died of brain cancer. So cancer is a beep. We don't want that a part of anyone's life. So definitely get your people, all your people, your loved ones, make sure they're checked and take care of them and cherish them. Another thing, Derrick Rose, he retired from the NBA.
Big. That's a big deal. Hey, D Rose. I got to watch him in college, obviously. That's where I saw the entirety of it.
Chicago legend, absolute icon. I'm told the Bulls will be honoring him on January 4th at the United Center against the Knicks. It's basically going to be Derrick Rose weekend in Chicago. There's still TBD on his jersey retirement, but that jersey, number one, is unofficially retired there. I would expect more serious conversations on potentially retiring his jersey in Chicago over the next several months and the potential year to come. But Derrick Rose, January 4th, will be a big weekend for him.
Anytime you're getting a weekend of celebration, you've done good. Congrats, D Rose.
Oh, yeah, D Rose.
Congrats, D Rose. Celtics stink or no?
Come on now.
Tell him, Sean. Tell him, Sean.
They've got the best starting five in the NBA, and they're the favorites when you look going. I said it on the show last time. Like they're the favorites going into this season. Now the Knicks are getting better. Philadelphia is getting better. Pacers. Out west, there's gonna be these Pacers. There's gonna be teams out west that are gonna be a threat as well. So Boston is the favorites. They've got two elite star players. We'll see if they can do the back-to-back.
Hey, we appreciate the hell out of you. Good luck in Sham season. # up to something season. You've earned all of it. Never forget it. Take whatever's best for you. You've earned it. Ladies and gentlemen, Sham Charania. All right, let's get to a break here as hour one wraps up. Dude Wipes is doing something right now that I don't think I ever would say. Dumpkin Spice Dude Wipes.
They're awesome.
So good.
They are.
It's becoming hot coffee season. You know, some people like iced coffee because whenever the weather is hot, you like a little ice, a little cold. Well, it's hot coffee season coming right up. More specifically, pumpkin spice coffee season. And you know what that leads to, D-Butt?
Pumpkin dumps.
Boom!
Nailed it.
And we got Dumpkin Spice for you. Dude Wipes only available at Target. And if you don't want to get the Dumpkin Spice and just get Dude Wipes, know that it's a bath for your ass every single time. Only need one per wipe and per flush. They have honestly changed my butt cheeks life.
For sure.
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Like our friends at Dude Wipes, Hour 2 with Aaron Rodgers and AJ Hawk. Ooh. We'll see you then. Take three.
Some of the guys from the Pat McAfee Show reached out. Super rad. They set it up for us to come. They set up for you to come, and you're like, hey, can Spence come? He's just at my house. And they were kind enough to let me tag along. And we're awesome. We're super hospitable.
Yeah. We sat in there. The suite is on in the end zone, so it's like a ground level suite, and we were in there with I seemed like pretty much the whole Pat McAfee Show. I mean, there were a lot of guys in there. Yeah, other wives were in there. Mr. and Mrs. McAfee were in there. Pat's parents were in there,
which are the greatest, by the way.
Sweethearts, awesome people. Some of their friends were there. Yeah. So it was awesome. Like that, just to go in there and be in the suite, be on the field level, because then it was fun because before the game I got to see like Coach Danny Smith, I got to see Coach Austin, Coach Fredo, saw Burt Loughton, saw Boz came over, and Christian Kuntz, and Muth came over. Pat, broke my neck when he tried to give me a hug.
Yeah, Moo was vicious.
He was hyped.
He
up.
came over talking that talk too, which I loved. I was like, yeah,
talking trash to McAfee.
Yeah.
So it was great to be there. I got to see Joe Flacco, which I forgot Joe was on the team. Which we can talk about Joe playing on that team. Joe's not on our team; he's on the Indy team.
Yeah.
But
that's the picture that's going viral.
Oh, the picture of him and I.
Yeah.
Did you post that thing, or did someone else?
No. I think.
Pregame maybe.
Steelers are posting it.
Oh, the pregame.
ESPN.
Yeah, we've had a lot of battles.
Yeah.
So anyway, just the whole experience of being there, being on that ground level, all that stuff was really, really cool. So thanks to Pat and all of the people involved with that. Obviously Pat and a couple of the guys specifically are from Pittsburgh, so they were, Steeler fans and decked out in their Steeler stuff. But the experience of all that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a different experience. It was fun. That's the first time I've ever gotten to. I mean, I've played against him, but hang out with Pat and be around him, and man, he's got a lot of energy. Really good dude. Enjoyed talking to him. A lot of fun. He brings the hype. The crowd is. He hit the anvil before the game, like got him going and everything. So he loved to do all the dance. They milk a cow, or I don't know. They do all kinds of weird.
They
things.
had a lot of hand motions. They got the horsepower.
They're motorcycling and they're milking a horse or a cow. I don't understand.
I don't know.
Had you been there
just to win
not
games?
As a yeah, exactly. Have you been there not as a player?
I don't know. That's the first time I've been there without winning or being like playing a game with me. But anyway, no, it was a fun experience. Other than the game, Then the game started.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey, let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. Hour 2 of the program starts right now. Football!
God bless.
Choked up.
I'm choked up.
So pumped.
We talked about baseball. We talked about basketball. We talked about football. It's just such a good time for sports.
Such a good day.
So many right now.
I mean, I didn't have a dry throat there as I was talking and had to cough and maybe clear some things up there. I'm actually legitimately choked up thinking about how awesome our lives are.
It's
I can't believe.
What's going on?
No. We're not doing that again. Not this week.
Stop floating around. You better wear a mask.
Okay. All right. That's one half of the hammer. Dahn, Cowboys, AP
Where you're
Tone.
going.
Definitely not doing that.
9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler. The Toxic Table's here at Boston Connor. Bruce Brown sitting in for Ty Schmidt, who's out on assignment. Should be amazing. Good to see you, Bruce.
Good to see you.
Bruce, I'll tell you what, yesterday, fucking nailed it.
I don't know about that.
Hell yeah.
I want to let you know, point guard did get gun shy, to send ball back to.
Sure. That makes sense. Yeah.
Last 2 days, pretty good.
Yeah, can't believe I'm sitting here, honestly.
It's great to have you. Honestly, you bring a lot of juice normally when you're on. Yesterday, though, out of the gates, just fall flat immediately on there. And then quarterback, has ball. And just thinking, I don't know.
You dropped the last pass.
I don't know.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't like it. I want to let you know that ends right now. Bruce, welcome back, baby.
Hell yeah, Bruce.
Let's go, Bruce.
How's your Raiders team doing? I just heard Devontae Adams is on Up and Adams. He said he has not heard from the organization at all since Antonio Pierce liked the post that was basically saying, he's played his last snap for the Raiders. We're done with it. So how do you feel as a new Raiders fan, Bruce?
I was thinking that AP was just kind of bookmarking that post so he could use it, pregame, little bulletin board material. They thought you were done as a Raider.
Yeah, you never know, I guess.
Guess what? You're going to go show them now.
You never know what motivational tactics are. That could be what Antonio Pierce is talking about, but that is a situation that is Raiders get a win.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Raiders get a win, and now drama's even more. And I guess we're kind of a part of it because we asked Schefter about wide receivers that could be traded because of the Rashee Rice injury, if you're listening to Shefty or the other insiders, seems like they're thinking much better news than thought.
Yeah, maybe not.
Whenever they say they are waiting another week to get more tests to see the full extent of the injuries, I immediately read that, and whenever he says there remains uncertainty over the extent of his injury per sources, so they get another week, and he's out this week, obviously, I thought, oh, there's more injuries. Like the extent of the injury, not only was an ACL, there was a hyperextension there, so something happened to the patella, maybe the PCL. I thought there was going to be a lot because of how nasty that thing looked. Yeah. And then Shefty clarifies it on the Adam Schefter podcast, I believe, in this particular. He says, no, I think this is good news. They're trying to, potentially see if what they thought happened actually happened. So there's more tests to be done. Rashee Rice might be back, but because of what happened to Rashee Rice, a lot of wide receivers getting traded conversation took place. Devontae Adams' name was in there. This is fresh off of a win for the Raiders. Yep. Okay, this is and his name's in there, and everybody else, and now it's getting dialed up even more. It's fascinating time for Devontae Adams. And remember, Mike Greenberg said he would do a show shirtless or something. I think is what he said. If Devontae Adams wasn't a New York Jet by Halloween, I think is what he said. TikTok. That's when trade deadline basically comes to an end, November 5th, so October 31st, very close. November 5th, also Election Day. You should do your research and then vote.
Should be good.
Or not.
What do you mean?
Well,
no, maybe do your research and not vote.
Well, I don't think you're allowed to say that.
Exercise your right.
Don't do research.
Guess we know you're taking the cow.
Mow that bitch.
Don't do that.
Why
Don't do
not?
that. Don't do that either. Jeez, there's no reason to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it
Watch
could
out.
be fun.
Bruce might throw paint on you.
It's a civic duty to vote. Okay, get out there and do it. But also, let's make sure we know what the hell we're voting for. Not just doing that. Because obviously, major implications. And speaking of voting, somebody needs to go talk to that Irish man that's in charge of that
guy's
the port union.
I don't think voting's going to help changing that guy's mind.
I don't know what is going to change that guy's mind. We watched a video of a man who's president, I believe, of the Longshoremen Union. Okay, Irish lad. Okay, head of the union. He said, "I got ports from Maine to Texas. Those are all my guys. And when my guys stop working, you have no idea.
One weekend,
50,000 workers.
Sorry about it, car salesman.
He said, you have no cars are coming in. You know where those cars are coming from? China? Our ports. Okay, how about construction workers? You're not going to have any lumber, not going to have any steel. Wood. Jobs are going to dry up. Guys are going to get laid off. They're going to have no work. That's what's coming through these ports here. I could cripple you, is what he said. So we just want to get a deal done. You want to get a deal done, or you want this thing to kind of go? This is the man. We listened to this video. This is the president. This Irish lad right here is the president of the or the port union, pretty much. All the workers that are striking that everybody on earth is going to hear about.
The longshoremen.
You're going to hear about this. This is going to become a story. This is going to become one. If anything he's saying is true, this can become a real story. So let's make sure we're handling all of our business. Okay?
Look out.
Let's get out there and let's go shake that guy's hand.
Yeah, truly.
Let's get some deals done. So look around the corner. We got holiday season right around.
Oh, yeah. It's here. It's October.
Duh!
It's here.
Prime Day.
Yeah, Christmas stuff is out there in the stores right now.
Why isn't that guy running for president? After I watched him speak for...
No.
Oh,
yeah, you.
Not you, Dahn. He was talking
I'm
about...
not old enough.
What do you think? Where do you think this steel's coming from, these cars? Where do you think these cars are coming from? It's out of a movie. This could be AI or this could be real. Nonetheless, somebody needs to go shake this Irish guy's hand.
Talk to him.
And we need to get some things done because the way they're selling this on the internet is like ports, everybody kind of forgets about them. You guys live inland there. You don't really see the port much. You don't really see the water much. Where the fuck do you think all this shit's coming from?
Everything.
It's like, well, they got to be drone. No. Well, they're on the trucks. Well, how'd they get to the trucks? Oh, they had to, and he's like, all of them. Maine to Texas, I fucking got them all.
You remember how bad it got when that one asshole turned that boat sideways in the canal?
Evergreen, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that down in Panama.
That one guy.
We don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a guy who, if he was to come through the port, they'd say, wow, we got a college football national champion here. We got a Super Bowl champion here.
Jeez.
We got a Ryder Cup winner here.
Holy shit.
Let's make sure we handle with care. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
Yeah.
Maine to Texas. Maine to Texas, he said. I got them all. That's what he said.
Hey, we better pay those guys. They all want more money, right? That's what they're trying to get, higher wages. But like, how long can this go on without us actually like having big time issues.
I don't know. I saw a video a couple weeks ago about it that cracked into my algorithm because my name's Patrick McAfee. I think he just kind of said, "Yep, you need to hear this. You need to hear what the Irish. You need to hear what your brethren and your family are going through at the ports right now in this entire thing." There was like a conversation like 1 day is like 1 week, 1 week is like 1 month, and then 1 month is like good luck, basically, in the entire thing. And it's like, bingo. It's like how time flies on the internet is how it works. And I think it just started today. I think today's day one. And we don't know anything about anything. But what we do know is I watched a video of that guy. I think there is a deal to be done.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to operate on his terms.
For sure.
And he understands his leverage.
Don't even think about automation.
Don't. Oh.
That's a big part.
So are there ships just hanging out outside the ports? Like, remember back in the day when the ports, they couldn't handle all the ships and there's a ton of them just parked out waiting to get in?
So when Evergreen was sideways, if I do recall, all those boats were just sitting there.
Yeah. Yeah, but even during COVID, I remember when they didn't have enough people to unload all these ships, they would show like 150 ships just sitting out there waiting to come in.
Do you remember
I got a raise too.
The shortage? What's that?
When that happened, I believe the people on the West Coast got a raise, and now that's
what about the East Coast?
East Coast.
That's
now it's East Coast.
West Coast.
So I remember there was a shortage of supplies because we were doing construction here on the Thunderdome. Couldn't get anything, because everything was out at sea.
It's absurd.
It's like I can see a photo of it. You see that boat right there? That's where everything you need. But it just, we could see it. We just can't get it here. Let's figure it out with the ports.
Yeah.
Come on.
Need our ports.
Seems easy.
Yeah, it seems like no problem at all. Seems like no problem.
Support the ports.
No problem at all. I hope they get it worked out. Let's talk about seeming easy. Boy, Tua seemingly makes it look a lot easier than it actually is, I guess, running offense for the Miami Dolphins. A.J. Hawk. Titans get a huge win. Will Levis hurts his shoulder on a diving first down play. He is dressed for the rest of the game. Mason Rudolph is playing, though, so that means Will Levis could have went back in, but instead they stick with the Rudolph. Titans get a big, boring win over the Miami Dolphins, leaving us to question, are the Dolphins crop? And are they going to be crop until Tua returns? Or are the Titans maybe a team that can win any way they need to win? They have their backup quarterback going in the middle of the game and they steal the win. That's good coaching from Callahan. Obviously, Rudolph being prepared and ready to go in is a big deal. Titans get this win. What is your takeaway from it?
I mean, you're right. Big, boring win for the Titans, which they have no issue with. Like, a win is a win. But, I mean, I just tend to think of the Dolphins here. When they continue to show McDaniel on the sidelines, looking at his play sheet, you look at people just look dejected. It sucks to lose in the NFL, and it sucks when you feel like you don't have a whole lot of hope. And I feel like that's where the Dolphins are right now, at least without Tua.
Okay, let's go to the next game. Seahawks, Lions. Motor City muscle tarps and blue helmets on. Looked good, to Darius's point from the first hour.
I heard that, Darius. You're right. It did look better, much better on TV than in the graphics I saw before the game.
They look great and sounded great up there in the stadium as well. I mean, it was buzzing. Calvin Johnson goes in at halftime. Seattle's playing great football. Lions are playing great football. This was a Monday Night Football game, and it lived up to the billing, AJ.
Yeah, it did. And honestly, what was fun, too, was watching both sides, the Seahawks and the Lions, watch them run the ball. These dudes run so hard. Like, it just – I love when you have a good mix between run and pass and when dudes are running to, like, they expect to score every single play, it feels like. And I love watching that.
I don't know if you heard the stat that I read earlier from Hembo about the balance of the Ben Johnson offense last night. But pretty much it was Detroit.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Detroit gained 389 yards on Monday, 348 of which will be credited to the run game. Both on the ground, 116 yards, and then play action pass was 232 yards. So at his best, nobody marries pass and run game better than Ben Johnson, says Hembo in the stats that he sent over there. Montgomery's going to be tough to tackle. This Patrick guy got some big-time reps. Laporta is all over the place. St. Brown obviously able to do his thing. And J-Mo is faster than everybody on the field, and also he could dunk. And he said there were some people saying I couldn't dunk on the team. And I said, I'm going to pay tribute to Calvin Johnson. I'm going to dunk this thing. You can't dunk, they said. Too small. He's high-stepping from the 30 all the way in there. And then he takes the penalty to pay tribute. And that was a great celebration. I think they stopped this one. Jimmy Graham obviously was able to get up there and windmill it. There was numerous others that did it. Calvin Johnson. There was that one time though where it got cockeyed.
Yep. Yeah.
And it held up the game for like 40 minutes or whatever.
Big. You can't get stuck right there. You can't get Sprite commercial right there. That's tough. Yeah. But he got up. Good dunk.
Yeah,
they're going to find him?
Good performance. Definitely.
Come on.
Yeah, they're fine for
Golf too, right?
Before we get to our guest that is here right now, yes. I reached out about the celebration penalties because there's a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey, remember you guys tried this. This ain't what the fans want. This isn't what anybody wants. They said just can't do the weapon stuff. Can't do it. We just can't do the weapons.
What makes it a weapon? I guess, I don't know.
I guess if you quiver and pull a bow and arrow, that
So
is
it doesn't
an Olympic sport.
Even if it's not like a firearm. So even a bow
what about
and arrow.
like ninja stars?
What if I simulate like I'm shooting a slingshot? I'm shooting a little rock out of
What
a
if you
slingshot.
do? What if you pull that thing out of your back pocket?
Oh,
yeah.
Nope.
That'd be great selling.
Put it back in
They
your
don't
back
want
pocket.
kids bringing bow and arrows to the game.
Yeah, because if you do that, it will be pretty chaotic. And how many seats are those going to take up if you get a bow and arrow there?
What if you're putting the gun down?
What if you're taking a gun from somebody, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Holster it.
Ooh.
How about that?
What if you're...
That would be sweet.
Okay, so when are weapons allowed?
Clear the chamber and have the magazine fall out.
Yeah.
Drop the thing.
Sheath the sword.
What if they did? What if they took a muzzle loader, brought that thing out, put the thing in, popped it down in there?
Fine.
Go ahead. What?
Fine.
No, they do it
No,
in New England.
then you're going to put it in a lock case. Open the case, shut it.
That's
put it
weird.
in there,
Don't they?
lock it.
Don't they shoot those things off in New England?
In New England, they shoot them
Oh!
That's because you're allowed to in the Revolution
weird.
region. Sorry. That's just the
Anyways,
rules we
that
play by.
that was the message I got back. It was like, hey, we can't be doing the weapon stuff. Like, we're trying to stop the weapon stuff. Everything else, you're good, but come on. And okay, as long as that we know that's the stance. That is. But what if it is a ninja star? You know, like you have no idea if that's what they're throwing.
Like one of your teammates gets hit by it.
Or red coat celebration this weekend in England.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who will be playing in England this weekend against the Minnesota Vikings. He's a 4-time NFL MVP, currently the head coach of the New York Jets. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers.
Yay!
Makes me think this whole intro of the Hinkle McCrinkleberry skit from Key and Peele. 2 pumps, that's okay. Not 3 though. What if so Brandon Cooks, who's done the same celebration for he's been in the league a long time. What if he just brings the arrow out?
Oh. And then what? Stabs with it, or is he just
Just brings it out. Just brings it out. He's thinking about gets it out of the quiver.
Yeah.
He's thinking about loading that, but just kind of holds.
Fine.
The referee's going to be watching, like in the skit.
Is it the bow or is it the arrow?
Is he going to load it? Is he going to load it? Is he loading it?
What if he does pull it out?
Just a slight little drop. Like,
what if he's just holding both of them? If he's holding both of them, but not in the action of, I mean, that is,
Sure.
How far, what are we? And did he get grandfathered in potentially because that is his thing? Like the Lambeau Leap got grandfathered in to the jumping into the crowd. We'll have to see as the...
Alan Lazard got penalized for doing first down like this. First down.
Well, that's 2
He's done
guns,
that for a while
shots.
too.
That's 2, yeah.
That's 2 guns,
He's just
10
pointing.
shots.
He's pointing with his finger.
No, because they can hear him go bum 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 bum. Yeah.
Bang, 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 bang,
Oh, they
bang,
heard
bang,
it.
bang.
Yeah. Pow,
But if
pow,
he doesn't blow it out, right? It's not a gun then. It's just finger.
Well, he got
Yes.
the silencer on.
Yeah,
He had the silence. We could tell he had the
Finger
silencer
pound.
on.
Muzzle.
If he just puts those...
What about
thumbs down,
pointing a first down with your thumb up?
Nope.
That's a gun.
Don't even think about it. You got to have good barrel...
Muzzle discipline. man. Muzzle
good
discipline.
barrel, muzzle discipline, please. You got to make sure whenever you're calling first down. What if you do? Look.
Yeah, if you shoot it down.
And that Michael Jackson meme would just push that rifle.
Wait, what
down.
about CD? Because he's wipe his nose, and diseases are technically weapons as well, bioweapons now.
Okay,
That's a
they
good
didn't
point.
say bio.
What do you think, Aaron?
That's a good point.
No, not we don't need to get
That was
into
outlawed at the
Spreading
Geneva
disease.
Convention.
We don't need
Aaron's
that.
got something on this, brother.
There's no. All right. Okay, let's get to football. And also, good piece of information for anybody around the NFL right now. That is what they're looking for. Any weapon, it is a no-no. You might be able to sneak one by. I mean, people have been able to do it. We see them get into buildings and stuff with security. But I think the NFL is going to be studying what is a potential weapon and how it is moving forward. And good luck to everybody celebrating a win. Let's talk about you and how you're feeling right now. You look bummed out on that sideline, buddy. They got a shot of you Okay, and the internet was doing its thing, obviously. The one that I saw said, when you come out of your ayahuasca trip and now you're a member of the New York Jets. And they kind of dunked on the New York Jets, and they also dunked on you. But that visual of you being miserable on the sideline, I think a lot of Jets saw it, and they're feeling the exact same way. How are we now on Tuesday going into week 5 of the NFL season, knowing there's a lot of football left, pal?
Well, I don't know if I'm the only one that knows there's a lot of football left, but there is a lot of football left. I've done the internet some service. I think we can all agree on that. I've definitely given. I'm sure Zito can pull up, an array of memes. But started with the night in Arizona. That was, the one that I still get all the time. When my helmet, was way up here, my chin straps here. I'm sure Zito can dial that in real quick. But I'm feeling a little banged up. Took some shots. Knees a little swollen, but just kind of wear and tear week 4. I'm just, I'm hoping that we can all have a little perspective here. That seemed like an outlier game. Obviously, Denver has a real solid defense, but the weather and their defense and our lack of execution made us, pretty bad combination there to only put up 9 points.
Okay, so let's talk about the weather a little bit. You said the weather sucked, so did I. It was a good little joke in the moment, got a good pop. They talked about it being torrential downpour. With the cameras these days, though, it's tough.
Well, it's supposed to be 60 and cloudy. That's what the weather report was all week.
And it was bad, right? I mean, you both look like crap. I mean, that was both offenses. That was a tough game to watch. But can you explain the weather? Can you explain the weather a little bit more for us?
It's classic New York weather. In Green Bay we had the cold, and you just start to embrace it. You got a bunch of kids from all over the country, living in Green Bay or some of the surrounding towns, Hobart, where what is their slogan in Hobart? Where greatness is growing. I think what it is.
Hell yeah.
That's where I lived the last few years. But a lot of kids from all over the country that you come together and you embrace. Guys from Centerville, Ohio. You just embrace the weather there, and I think we need to do the same thing when it's crappy weather like that. We got to embrace that and make it our own advantage, because we know, Age, there's so many games you play in the cold in Green Bay. Teams start to quit there in the third quarter or fourth quarter. They're just like, man, I'm sick of this cold. I'm sick of this snow, this chilly wind or whatever it is. And it became a big advantage for us where we could put teams away early in some of those bad weather situations. So we got to embrace that. It is kind of jet weather. Last year I went to a number of games and saw that was, 4 or 5 games like that where it's misty, it's windy, it's damp and cold and damn near miserable. And you just got to embrace that and push through it. And I just don't think mentally all of us were able to really embrace the conditions and play a little better.
Yeah, we used to talk about you wearing the long johns. Anytime the long johns came out for Aaron Rodgers at Green Bay, normally
the Dickie.
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, whatever. Dickie, long john, whatever you want to call it. You know what we're talking about. The waffle, the hunting waffle cloth is showing underneath the jersey. It's like, okay, Aaron thinks it's very cold today, but this means Packers in a good spot. That is advantage for you. And I think one of our first Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays, whenever the weather started to turn, you're like, it's all in your mindset. Like for us, our belief is Lambeau, the frozen tundra, is a weapon for us. Like other people don't want to play in that, or they think it's like a movie. For us, it's an advantage. Whenever we play in it, we want to make it that way. Hearing you say the same thing about the Jets and MetLife is pretty cool, actually. I didn't even think about kind of tying those two together, but just shitty, dreary, rainy, windy, chilly that should be our advantage, not everybody else's. I love that mindset. Go ahead, AJ.
So with your whole cadence situation, have you and Sala figured all this out? Or are you going to go back to, you're going to say ready, set, hike now? Or are you going to continue to do what you have been doing, throughout your 20 years?
Yeah, great question, AJ. Great question.
We need to know.
We do need to know. Dahn, set, hunt.
Here we go.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, you never know. I think the question may have been posed in a way that might not have been exactly what was said. But listen, I've used my cadence my entire career. I didn't make it up. I stole it from the legend who was in front of me. I changed the numbers around a little bit maybe, but added some additional types of cadences to it and continued to. Even when Matt came, we added some cans and dummy Oscars and real Oscars and different things and quick counts. And So you're always adjusting that. Everything that we do in the game, we do in practice. And that's why I said after the game that it felt like I used the word outlier, but maybe a better word is anomaly. It was one of those games where, we just jumped off sides 5 times. And before that, we had 1 false start in 3 games. And nobody complained about the cadence. One of those was at home, but 2 of those are on the road. And we're using various silent cadences. We don't just go on one every time. It's been an advantage for us. We threw a touchdown week 1 on an offsides on a silent count. So it needs to be a weapon. In order for it to be a weapon, we got to stay on sides. So I think in those situations, and I don't know why Robert would get any, or even Hackett. I mean, nobody deserves any crap for that except for the players. We gotta make sure that we're staying on sides. And I don't think it's an issue. It hasn't been an issue in practice. It's again another talking point for outside the building. Obviously, it hurt us in some situations, so we got to be better. But cadence is the cadence. It's the cadence.
You and Salah are good though. Big hugs. We did big hug. Because we saw on the sideline fist bump, not a hug that one time, and then immediately, I guess like 6 days later, we saw in one Jets drive you guys hugging at the top of the ramp. That probably could have been a piece of content that could have been put out a little bit earlier, maybe to dispel the entire hug conversation. We're not making their content over there or marketing that whole thing, but the whole cadence thing, I assume you two had to talk about that because it got loud. It got very loud. People just continue to point this happened immediately after the game where the push to the chest thing happened.
This is part of the learning process. You realize, and there's various different hugs. If you kept showing that clip, there's guys. There's Rudy. Rudy's a close hugger. There's Tony. Tony likes to say something before he hugs. Cap, you just shake his hand. Don't hug him. He's not a big hugger. Quincy, he's a big hugger. Loves hugging. So you learn the relationships with each person. And as you saw, I'm a fast learner. So I pushed Salah on the field. Realized after the game he's a hugger, but he's a tapper. He gives you 3 taps. That's enough. And we all know people like that. So it's you live and you learn, and you got to adjust on the fly. And I feel like I did a pretty good job at that. When I thought he was a 2-hand push guy, push. Then I realized no, he actually wants a hug, but not a long hug and not a close hug. Okay, it's hips out or to the side, and it's 3 taps and then off. Where Rudy, linebacker coach, he wants to kind of hold you in there. TD, he wants to say something, look you in the eye, and say something to you, and maybe whisper something in your ear. So you got to learn all these different types of things. Just like with the handshakes, all these kids have their own handshakes. I got a couple of some of the guys, but you got to learn the hugging styles too. It's all different.
Okay, so we learned the hugging style. We learned that potentially media, and I assume Coach Salah is learning this with you being on the team. Everything that you do is going to be talked about. Let alone in New York, but everything you do is going to be talked about. I assume Coach Salah expected that, understood that, but it's at a different level. We've got a chance to experience it the last 5 years. We appreciate you for these Tuesdays.
Hell yeah.
We appreciate these Tuesdays, obviously. 2 times MVP in those entire thing. Nonetheless, maybe another one this year, we shall see. But you and Coach Salah's relationship, every day learning more and more about each other and understanding how it could be perceived outside the building, or do you guys not even let that even affect how you interact with each other, the shit that's happening outside?
We have some stuff planned at some point, the real maybe demonstrative embrace. But again, I got to know he's a 3-tapper guy.
Okay.
So I have 3 taps to get in whatever type of affection I need to show him. No, you know what? There's always going to be messaging and narratives out there, and you have 2 choices. You can ride the wave, really a roller coaster, or you can say, fuck it, I don't care. And I'm the latter. I don't get into what the conversation is going on outside the building around myself, the relationships that I have. The most important ones are looking a guy in the eye in the locker room or in the meeting room and knowing, he's got your back, you got his back. Rob and I have a great relationship. We have since day one when I got here. We have text message conversations, threads that we're in, conversations about a number of different topics outside of football. We got a good friendship. Yeah, he was interested in Egypt for sure.
What did you say? You said I had to go over that. So we never talked to you about that. I have a question. That was on, I think, June 12th, 2024, right?
Yeah.
6-12-24. Was that on purpose in this whole thing?
No, the 6-20-24 was on purpose. For sure. That was the solstice and the Sphinx solstice bucket list that I wanted to do.
Because we kind of assumed there was the date mattered.
Yeah.
You know, because if not, it was just, hey, rich guy, move your trip to Egypt. Okay, hey, Ray, that was kind of a conversation in this entire thing. And then start thinking about it, it's like, there has to be. There has to be a bigger reason in it all. It lived up to the hype, though, I think is what you said, right?
It did, and those were OTAs, remember. Those are OTAs.
Those matter.
Big time.
They do matter. They matter for off-season, but off-season is off-season. You put that little box, sit off to the side. Nobody talks about it, thinks about it. Again, you know, there's a lot of practice between off-season and training camp and you know, and the start of the season. And if we're still talking about that, then, hey, you know, so be it. Carry on.
Hey,
I'm just going to think about that. And like Russell Brand said in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I'm just going to keep on living my life.
That's what. Hey, keep doing it. And you weren't at any of those other OTAs, right? You weren't. Were you?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was a few of them. I think I made a few of them. We weren't working on the cadence though. That's the problem.
All right, let's move. Let's keep living your life, and you're going overseas. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Aaron, obviously later on in your career.
Hi, Connor.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you. You're looking good. Hey. Nice hats. Cherish the little things. Looking at, you know, this London
It's
trip.
a Danish concept.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that Hoega House?
Denmark, yes.
Yeah, Danish.
Which is Danish.
Obviously, I
of course,
understood that.
Viking, perhaps you could say. Speaking of
I actually call it Danemark because
because the Danes.
Because the amount of Danes that are rolling around up there, and they're all Hugo.
Just like you call Spencer Havner Spanx.
Okay.
Shout out Spence.
Okay.
It's not
Shout out
Spanx.
It's not plural. It's just Spanx.
Yeah, Spanx is
Oh,
close.
just Spanx.
Yeah. Anyway,
if there were multiple.
By the way, he felt like you kind of shined him at AJ's birthday that one time. So
me?
I just want to get that out there too. All right, sorry, BC. Carry on.
Nah, Spank's good guy.
We're cool with
We
Spank.
love Spank.
We're big Spank guys.
Spank.
Spank.
Now, if there was two Spencers, and we liked them both, we'd say Spanks, and it would be positive.
Would you say you're more of a Spank guy or like a real old school, tough Pittsburgh, Shippensburg type of guy like John Kuhn?
you know how we're playing. You know the game we're playing around here. Go ahead, Con.
Yeah, that was an easy Kuhn answer. That's not even close to the Spank, but still.
Kuhn will work on those ports.
Oh, yeah.
Kuhn go work on
we
those.
might need him to. Might need him to hit the ports actually very soon here, or just maybe go shake that guy's hand.
Shake that guy's hand.
That
Somebody needs to go shake that guy's hand.
Quick. Fast.
I'll cripple you.
I mean, what are we going to do here without the ports? Forget about that, though. I mean,
are they even going to be able to get back?
Yeah. Speaking of, you might have
good
trouble.
sidetrack here. Really good sidetrack.
This is your fault, Spanks. You got into this entire thing. Now we're talking about ports, but it is an international conversation.
And when you're talking about
and John Kuhn
Dog, great radio shows.
Legend.
Shippenberg. Yeah. London's had a lot of trouble with our ports too, going all the way back to the 1770s.
Yeah, taxation.
Sure.
They went in there and they threw that tea.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was a party, they said, but more so it was like it was a dance on grade.
I mean, they wanted better wages. That's kind of the similar situation, really. History repeating itself. If
taxation without representation, I don't think so. Get this tea the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Well, there was more to that than just that, but let's carry on.
Well, certainly there was other factors in there, but that was the one. That was the
straw,
right? I mean, I haven't read enough books. I don't think about it. Watch a lot of documentaries. That was the one that really pissed them off.
Yeah, with the Boston Massacre too. Can't forget about that.
That's your hometown. Anyways, let's get back to international conversation, please, can we?
Yeah, Aaron. Looking forward to London here coming up. Obviously, later on in your career here, do you have any thoughts like, hey, this might be my last international game? This is something where you kind of look around, pretty cool being in London, or is it more so like, thank God I don't have to travel overseas to play football anymore because, God, this trip is a pain in the ass, and I don't want to do high knees on the plane like Russell Wilson.
Whoa.
That's true. You do have to do that.
You do have to do that.
He will. He does.
You should.
Yeah, I will. I'll be doing all that for sure. I do think this could be it for London. You never know. Green Bay and Philly went to Brazil. There's usually a game in Mexico City. Not sure if there is one this year. Germany has hosted a game. It'd be fun to play in Spain or France. I think that'd be another option. I think at some point for the NFL to look at. I remember years and years ago we talked about doing one international week. So every team, 16 games in 16 places outside the country, which would be pretty cool. And then a bye week after that, and the league kind of submarine that with the 17th game possibly. But no, I enjoyed the experience last year. We had a ton of Packer fans, or 2 years ago we had a ton of Packer fans there, obviously, because they're everywhere. And it felt like it was like 70-30 Packers. Not sure what the mix is going to be. Obviously, Minnesota's got a great fan base too. And there's just fans who are just there wearing different jerseys. Some of them probably don't even know what the hell's going on half the time. But there's great sports fans over in Europe. We had a good time last time. We got to go to a soccer game at Wembley. The U.S. women's national team was playing the British national team. And so that was a lot of fun. Alan and I went over there and had a good time. Got to sit in a box with all the people from Ted Lasso, which was cool. So it's fun. It's a good trip. There's always thoughts on when you should go over, and they're always looking at the analytics, what the record is, people that go on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. Matt wanted to go over on Thursday a couple years ago, so we went over like 5 o'clock on a Central Time, and that was kind of weird on your body because then you're trying to stay up all day Friday and you're exhausted. But it's just you know what to expect. We're going over on Thursday again. We're leaving. It's a shorter flight than Green Bay to London. It'll be New Jersey to London. So I think it's like 6-hour flight. But it's you got to get your body somewhat on the clock out there and try and find time to rest and get on some sort of a normal schedule. Luckily for us, a couple years ago we went right into a game the next week. It was so early. I think it was week 5 for us. We didn't do a bye week this week. We don't have a bye week, but we have a Monday night game, so we get extra day of rest, which will be nice.
Are you going to have a spot of tea when you get over there?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Ted Lasso in that I'm not a huge fan of tea in general. Now there's certain types of tea, certain types of teas, as you've referred to it, that I do enjoy.
Ayahuasca.
You can do that.
But if I'm going to drink a hot beverage, I'd rather drink coffee.
They got good coffee over there too.
Hot chocolate.
We're just in Ireland, and I think no hot chocolate. You don't like hot chocolate? Too much sugar. You think he's taking in that much sugar, you idiot?
God, I'm so dumb sometimes.
I mean, Hugo, dude, please.
Yeah, what the cherish the little things like little marshmallows and hot chocolate.
Oh, so good. We're getting into that season right now. If they can get in.
True.
Well, I don't even know if we're going to be able to have hot chocolate.
Might have to stock up now. 4 months of groceries.
Marshmallows are homegrown.
Marshmallows are American. Yeah, you're right. We're definitely.
Yeah, they grow on trees.
Putting that shit in there.
Is that a fact?
Huh?
Pizza.
What about that, Tom?
Pizza's from Italy.
Yeah,
Chinese
Pizza
food.
Hut. No.
Chinese food.
No,
Chinese
Pizza
food.
Hut created pizza.
Yeah.
There you go, Tone. You're on
French fries. Yep. Crepes.
Tiny little pancakes?
Yeah.
Love them. I'm going to have a bunch of those in Berkeley, huh? Is that all you guys serve over there in Berkeley? Just crepes?
Man, I'm so glad you brought this up, man. I'm so excited for you guys going out there. Like, I didn't know that there was only 5 teams that hadn't, or 5 now or 5 before this that hadn't hosted. 5 cities.
I don't know that recently.
I think Reese said that on the program when they announced it. It's awesome. It's great for Berkeley. There's a great fan base there. It's a really interesting city. You and I have already sidebarred on some stuff, but if I can give you any recommendation, there's 2 little Berkeley staples. One's called Top Dog. It's hot dogs, and the other is called La Burrita, which is right next door, which is a Mexican spot that I went to a bunch when I was out there. I heard that Blondie's Pizza is no longer there. I don't know if that's true or not, if that was a lie, but yeah, it's a great little city, great college town. You were saying, do you think there's going to be fans there? I think for sure. It's game days in town.
6 a.m. That game starts 7:15 local, I think.
No. Yeah. Sorry, local. Yeah.
It's a late one. Yeah.
Yeah, 7:15.
Are you sticking around for the game, or you just
definitely,
definitely
sticking around. Definitely sticking around for that game. Certainly, it will be. Cam Moore's coming to town.
It's gonna be awesome.
Cal fans are going to be bananas. But 10:15 Eastern kickoff for that game. That's the latest, I think, game day I've been a part of. So if the fans are showing up at 6 a.m. and then that's I'll be very impressed. I'll be certainly impressed. I I know that the Cal fans were very loud on the internet about getting Cal there, and before Cal getting College Game Day, there's six schools altogether. Now there's 5.
Now there's 5.
Yeah, Illinois,
There we
Maryland,
go.
Rutgers, Syracuse, and Virginia. Rutgers, feels like
the year
is only a matter of
This
time.
could be the year. This could be the year. Well, I don't know if they got you where they got you. After your appearance, you're gonna get a chance to go lay down. But hopefully, they got you at the DoubleTree. If they do, make sure you have a couple of those cookies and take a walk around that little marina there, where there was a famous, infamous case that there was Scott Peterson allegedly dumped the body of his pregnant wife there in the Berkeley Marina.
Nice.
Okay, I'll check that out. I'll make sure I fucking put it on the schedule. I'll make sure.
Well, there's a documentary that's out. It's pretty good. I think it's on Netflix about the whole thing. I can't believe you haven't seen it. I'm sure BC's seen it.
I don't know if I've
seen things.
Is that the?
It is good.
No, he
I have
hasn't.
seen it.
He
There's a
hasn't
lot
seen
of
it. He hasn't
murderers
seen it.
out there in California. You know,
Allegedly.
the Midwestern whites get a lot of heat because of the creation
There
of
too.
serial killers, because there is a lot of them.
Yep.
California has a lot of documentaries about murders as well that just pop up out of nowhere.
Zodiac.
Capita, yeah.
Zodiac, the guy that was that bum down in L.A. What's his name? Creeper.
Who?
Jeepers Creepers.
No, the guy. He was
The Night Stalker?
Night Stalker.
There it is.
Zodiac killer.
Richard
That
Ramirez.
hotel.
That's where that guy was at. The
Yes,
Night Stalker was
yeah,
staying
yeah,
at.
yeah.
And then there was this one up in Tahoe. The guy was staying in Tahoe.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that was stuck.
The Donner Party.
Well, that too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They ate each other.
All right, so
I haven't seen that new one. I'm watching the McMahon.
Hate each
one.
other.
yeah, Vince
Yeah, they got
McMahon's got a
stuck.
six-piece
And it's so
documentary on Netflix that is wrestling great for the rest. It's a lot of access in there. You watching docs, reading books? What are we doing? We're all ball right now.
Oh, a lot of ball and a little bit of books. I got a couple of books I'm going to take with me out there. I just got done reading the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success I talked about last week, which is a great one.
Chopra.
Deepak.
Kind of going back through that one. It's a good one to just kind of read a chapter every single day. But I'm kind of in the mode where I'm reading some books I've already read. Some of the ones on the book club, but I definitely got through a few, in the early part of this year that I'll have to break out once we officially start the book club back up, which I guess has not happened today. But maybe next week I'll bring one out.
Okay, breaking. The Aaron Rodgers Book Club will make its 3rd season return next Tuesday after a massive game in London, England. Woo! It's good news. Let's get back to London, England here. D-Butch got a question for you here.
Yeah, I know it's only Tuesday. Haven't probably fully dived in and seen all the clips of the Minnesota Vikings defense. One of my favorite defenses so far. Still one of the 2 undefeated teams now.
Yes. Yep.
So Brian Flores posed a lot of problems for offense. What have you seen so far on that tape? With the Vikings defense.
Well, they do a lot of different things. They throw a lot of different things at you. The front's really good. Harrison Phillips, I played against him, is a stout player in the middle. They got some young edge rushers, young guys in the back end other than Harrison and Gilmore. But they play really well together. They throw a lot of different things at you. Obviously, they have empty pressure. The thing that they do really well is that they are able to call into pressures and call out of pressures. So they have an awareness where if it looks like you're checking out of a pressure, they're going to check out. And then sometimes they can check into pressures as well. So it's a smart defense. B-Flow's obviously got them on the same page because they do a lot of different things. It's master disguise. I've known that about Harrison forever. I love Harrison. Phenomenal golfer, by the way. He had a great year at Tahoe. I want to shout out H. Smith. He's also picked me off twice, I believe, in his career, which he made sure he told me, reminded me about when we played together out there. But Harrison's a great dude, still playing at a high level, still a master of disguise. And Murphy's playing real well on the outside too. Shaq Griffin played, a lot known about him since he played in Seattle. Him and his brother actually combined on a sack on me, I believe, in a playoff game, which was a cool moment for them, a crappy one for me. But
Hey, can you sign this poster we both have?
Probably a sick poster.
It's like the dunk posters you had as a kid. You always want those posters with somebody just jamming on somebody. Dominique Wilkins or MJ jamming on somebody. It's like me getting sacked by
Yeah, but that's a compliment.
Cool moment for them.
And
Cool
anybody
moment.
that gets a pick on you, it's a big deal. It's like because you never turn the ball over. So you're talking about Harrison getting 2 on you. The reason why he's reminding you is because he's like, Hey, just a heads up, you've only thrown like 30 interceptions your entire career. I got 2 of them.
Yeah, it's like 5% of them.
Yeah, see you next season, pal. Can't wait for it. You know, there's a lot of news coming out about Davante Adams. Don't say anything. Don't be tampering with shit, Aaron. Don't you be tampering with anything. Seems to be heating up the internet right now.
Oh, yeah.
As we speak, heating up about the Davante Adams Las Vegas Raiders situation. Antonio Pierce, won't put you in a spot. Won't put you in a spot. You were talking about playing golf with him out of Tahoe when he said, can't wait to play with him again. Mike Greenberg said he'll do a show shirtless, I think is what he said, if Davante Adams doesn't end up as a New York Jet. And now
not?
Yeah, that's what he said. By Halloween. Obviously, that's right before the trade deadline. That's what Mike Greenberg said before the season even started. He said, I'll go naked. I'll do it. He's that matter of fact about it. He said he would go dong out, I think, on get up.
Sack and all.
If it didn't happen.
On the table.
I think that is what he said. So
on the table.
Yeah, we shall see. Obviously, Brian Flores' defense is a phenomenal one. Excited to see you joust with him. Do you and the D coordinator have moments every game? Only some D coordinators? Is there any of those where it's like we're currently jousting right now?
I mean, there's been some words exchanged over the years for sure. I remember Gunther Cunningham and Ron. What's his name? He's God. He was in Detroit forever. He would flip me off all the time. Him and I would go back and forth. But
Marinelli.
Rod Marinelli, yeah. I said Ron. Sorry, Rod. Jesus.
Jeez, yeah. He just went like this. He literally just did it from wherever he's at, walking very fast.
But that happens. But a lot of the coordinators are up in the box. They're in the box now. So there's not a lot of coordinators on the field. Depends on defensive head coach, offensive head coach. But every now and then there's some things said. But it's usually like a Wink Martindale would always do things to me, or we played him last year in the preseason, and he says he's going to play cover 3 every snap and blitz 0 like 4 of the 6 snaps I was in. I might have flashed him a bird at one point, but
of course.
But I love Wink. You go against these guys for so long, there's mutual respect. With Vance last week, I've gone against Vance a number of times. He's a phenomenal coach, got a really good scheme, and I didn't get a chance to see him after the game, but there's a mutual level of respect. I always enjoy going against Spags. He's always, will come up to me and say something to me. And he's, been one of the best, if not the best, for a long, long time. And so there's mutual level of respect. Every now and then there's, some laugh or smile or something. I remember we played against Tampa forever ago when Raheem Morris was the head coach. He was calling defense. And I had both my feet were banged up for whatever reason. I got turf toe on my right foot and something else on my left. And I was on the injury report that week. And I ran out of bounds for a first down. And he said, "I thought you were supposed to be hurt. What are you out here running for?" There's comments like that happen every now and then. But I have a lot of respect for Coach Flores and what he's accomplished in the league and what he does with that defense.
That team's a wagon, brother.
Yep.
The Vikings are an absolute wagon. It is. I don't want to say come out of nowhere because of the conversations in the offseason, but kind of come out of nowhere. It's been a lot of fun to watch. On that note, Tone has a question for you, Aaron.
Yep, Aaron. Hi, Aaron. Good to see you.
Hey, Tone, you too.
They are running the ball with old number 3-3 in purple now. Are you excited to see your old running mate, Aaron Jones, over there? And we saw that you got to see that sweet, sweet boy, Zach Wilson, this last weekend. How's he doing, too?
Well, Zach's engaged. He's doing well.
Sweet boy.
He's turning into a sweet man.
Yeah, way to go. Those days of running wild are over now. They've tamed the beast.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be settled down. Maybe having some kids here pretty soon. But
wow,
Aaron Jones. Jonesy's one of my all-time favorite teammates, and there's nobody like Jonesy. I mean, he is a special, special human. One of the best guys to be in the locker room with. Best guys to have next to you. In the shotgun, smart as can be, tough, physical, slasher, great hands, but just always positive attitude. I mean, Aaron Jones is, I'd say this about a few guys. I said this about Kuhn, once I remember, but he epitomized, I thought, what it meant to be a Packer. Great in the community, phenomenal teammate, a lot of pride in his performance, pride in wearing those colors. And he's going to be a Packer Hall of Famer when he's done playing. But, there might have been some thought that didn't have a whole lot left in the tank. And I think as we've seen through 4 weeks, That's incorrect.
Yeah, revenge games too.
And of all people in the league, there's certain guys you really pull for. Some guys you don't even play with, but you just like respect their game. You're like, man, I like that guy. I want him to do well every week. I play with Aaron Jones, and I pull for Aaron Jones every single time he laces up. He is a fucking great human being and a great player and a guy you just always felt good about when he was on the field. I remember he told the story when I guess he wrote a piece, I think, for
Players Tribune.
Players Tribune, yeah. And mentioned one time when I said, I want 33 on the field. And it was just because the way he went about his business. He was so professional, always prepared, and the way he practiced too. And there's a few guys over the years that practiced the right way. I always say Ryan Grant practiced the right way. I mean, that guy was a stud. Finish runs. Jordy Nelson practiced the right way. Devontae Adams practiced the right way. Aaron Jones practiced the right way. I mean, there's a way of doing it where you finish the right way, you do everything right, you take pride in your performance every single time you lace it up. And I could go on and on because I love the guy so much, but he is a special, special human being. And I saw a little bit that Kevin said after the game about guys that change culture, and he is one of those guys. And you would think, oh, there's got to be a ton of guys in the locker room that are like this. It's not true. There's a few of these glue guys, and when your glue guys are your best players, that's when you get a chance to do something special. So I'm not surprised. Obviously, Sam's playing great, and I love Sam, and I give him so much credit, and I'm really happy for him. He's a great dude. He comes to my event out in SoCal every year, our flag football thing, and he's playing great. But when you have your glue guys, your Aaron Joneses are your best players as well, and they're also your best people, you can do something special.
Hell yeah, Aaron Jones. That'd feel good. I don't know if Aaron Jones is going to see that when, but if he watches that and hears a former teammate of his who happens to be a Mount Rushmore player in the league speak that glowingly, that had to feel. Hey, Aaron, you did good.
Hell yeah.
You done good, pal, and only going to continue to do so. Kevin O'Connell over there, seemingly.
Well, listen, let me just finish on the Aaron Jones thing.
Okay, more.
This isn't a wild take. Anybody that's been around Jonesy, that's played with him, that coached him, would say the exact same thing. And it's no surprise. I remember the story about Flea finding his locket that he lost on the field that had had his father's ashes in it, right?
Yep.
The reason that he did that, I mean, Flea's a great dude, no doubt. But Jonesy is such a special human. Like anybody would want to do that for Aaron. Anybody's played with him, coached him, would say the exact same thing about him. He's a special guy.
Yeah, man. Good for you, Aaron Jones.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Go ahead, AJ. That was awesome.
Hey, you mentioned Sam Darnold. What do you think it is? There's some quarterbacks around the league. Obviously, they get to the second, third stop, and they seem to flourish. They seem to kind of do well in whatever the system may be, the players around them. Like, what do you make of that? Why does it not work sometimes? Obviously, work somewhere else later on in your career.
Well, most of us are system quarterbacks, and that's gotten a knock as being like, you're only a system. Some of us can be the system. You can bring a certain type of way of playing, and you add in a cadence or play fake ability or different things that evolves the system. But there's guys that can plug and play. I mean, you got the guys listed there. Andy Dalton played in a lot of systems. He's a plug and play guy. Joe Flacco, plug and play guy. Kirk Cousins, plug and play. I mean, all those guys, I mean, I could say about all those guys. I mean, but they all, see, Baker was a top pick. Sam was a top pick. Andy was a top pick. Flacco was first rounder. Kirk, I think, was second rounder. Gardner was a later pick, I believe. Not sure about Derek, but a lot of those guys, had some struggles early in their career, and it takes a while. The development of the quarterback. That's why you got to give so much credit to what Jaden's doing in Washington, because that's the outlier. I mean, that's the anomaly. Most of us, it takes a little time for us to figure it out, and especially with the way quarterbacks are being coached in college, and they're not calling plays, they're not audibling, they're not huddling up, they're not taking a snap under center. The NFL is a different game. The NFL is playing under center, especially with the way defenses are playing now with all this two shell. You got to play under center. You got to run the football, and you got to have play action. As you guys said that stat about Jared Goff, and all the yards that came off of the action game. There's a learning curve, And that's why what Jaden's doing in Washington is an outlier, and he deserves a lot of credit, as does Cliff Kingsbury and Dan Quinn for obviously the environment he's created there. But most of us, we take a little time to get into it. We need some time to learn the game, to grow, to not have overreactions about our play. Whoa. Think if Peyton Manning had been playing in 2024 his rookie year. Gosh, I mean, think about the overreactions that would have happened with that.
We wouldn't.
That's why I think you got to give a guy like Bryce Young some time. Like whether it's in that system or another system, like it takes time, and you get place this mantle on you to be this savior for a team that's usually not very good if they're picking high. It's usually not one player away. And sometimes in the offseason, the GM can come in and bring in the right pieces and also pick a guy, or you have draft capital, as we saw with Chicago, where you have a number of different pieces you can bring in to put around the first pick to put him in a position to be as successful as possible. But it's the Jaden Daniels are the outliers. And most of us, we need to take some time. And whether we have the time to do that as a backup, that's the best way. That just doesn't happen very much or at all in the NFL anymore. So now you got to figure it out on the run. You have to have an owner who's patient and trusts the process. And you have to have a team that continues to build and get better and not crush your confidence, as some of those guys dealt with early in their career. So I salute all those guys for the way they're playing. I know some of them well. I don't know others as well, but they're all guys who are exemplify patience with the quarterback position, which there's very little of in our game now.
Okay, there's so many different topical conversations we could have off of your answer right there. Thank you for giving that answer and the depth that you did. Obviously, what you say about the matter matters a lot more than what us or anybody else that is kind of speaking about it. Peyton Manning was on the program, I think, maybe like 3 weeks ago. And he talked about that rookie year, about how he felt like he needed to play, throw him in the deep end. Obviously, he still has the interception record for rookies. He thinks he'll have it forever, even though they've added a game. But he talked about, like, those game reps really mattered to him. Then you're the complete opposite. What is that, like 3.5 years? You wait, and then you get dropped in.
3 years.
3 years, and then you get dropped in, and you're in there. You said that you think being a backup and, like, kind of waiting is perfect for you. Is it situations or situational? Like, because what's happening in New England right now, in your division, obviously, so you know that, obviously. But that's a massive talking point, what's happening with Drake May and Jacoby Brissett. And it's like the plan we thought going in was like, Drake May is going to back up. He's going to watch quarterback. He's going to see how it goes. Then inevitably they'll put him in. Some Patriots fans, not all of them, are like, if not now, when are we going to do it? Coach Mayo came out and said, Jacoby's our starter 100%. We're moving forward. So allegedly, we would assume that means he's sticking with the plan. But you watching that situation develop, or other quarterback situations develop, I assume you do have some sort of opinions on how your situation ended up with Brett Favre being the starting quarterback for like 3 years, and then you getting dropped in and kind of not missing a beat. Jordan Love, a couple years behind you, then getting dropped in, not missing a beat. Is it just, it depends on the player, or if you can't, like Peyton was never going to be a backup quarterback. The human he is, the situation he was going in, could he have benefited from it? How do you feel about that? And I know I just said a lot, but there's a lot happening in this vein of conversation right now in sports.
Yeah, I mean, I would ask, that's a question for Peyton, whether he would have benefited or not. But I think Ryan Leaf would have benefited from it, and he was the second pick that year. It's just different situations. And again, I go back to the patience, with Coach Mayo out there, just having the patience to let his kid develop and to let Drake develop. Jacoby's a proven starter in the league for a long time. My situation is very rare, and I would say the same thing about Jordan. Where I got to, and he got to sit behind future Hall of Famers. Who can show what it looks like, can allow you to learn without being thrown in there or have your confidence shredded at all, to work on your game, to learn defenses, to learn the offense, become a master of the offense. And then in spots, you get a chance to play, the preseason, an injury here and there, and you start to gain a little confidence with that. And then when you hit the ground running, you got to go. And that's why last year was a make or break year, just like it was 2008 for me, right, wrong, or indifferent. I think I showed, that I could be a long-term starter. Jordan obviously showed he could be a long-term starter, and away they went. That's just not the game plan anymore, because it's such a reactionary league from owners and fans, where it's like, oh, we lost, oh, put the other guy in. Oh, we lost, oh, fire this guy, get rid of this guy. That's not a great way to operate. If you're an owner, you hire the guys you think can get the job done, and you trust them. And you're a GM and you hire a head coach, you trust them to get the job done. And you set the plan, and if the plan is good enough day one, it should be good enough after week 4, it should be good enough after week 10, should be good enough in year 2, and you're like, is this the time we got to play this guy? When he's ready, when the system is ready, when the guys around him are ready, then play him. And sometimes that's in year 1. Or sometimes you don't have a choice. You don't know what you're going to get. I don't know if they knew what they're going to get from Jaden Daniels. We saw him in the joint practices. I thought he looked good. I liked his film from college because I watched 2 of the kids they had. I thought he was obviously the intangibles, scrambling ability, incredible. Could the read option stuff work in the league? I don't know. You don't know. You never know. But he's obviously figured it out. Again, we're 4 games in. 4 games, he looked pretty damn good.
Historic.
Really damn good.
Yeah.
But you never know until they're out there. Even if a guy's ready in the second year, you never know. And you need to have patience. And I know that's a really hard thing to have from owners and fan bases and coaches because it's a what have you done for me lately league and a snap knee-jerk reaction league. You guys do it every Monday. Overreaction Monday. And that's part of it because you're part of it. And it's not a bad thing. It's just the way our league is. But we need to have a little patience with these quarterbacks. If you have a guy, now let's say this in closing. If you have a guy who you know is going to be a long-time, decade-long starter, that's who you believe he is, then you might have to go through some growing pains the first couple of years. You might. Or you might sit him and know when he comes in, he's going to be a decade-long starter. You got a situation in place you think can be a bridge the gap. For us in Green Bay, it wasn't bridging the gap. It was a guy we think we'd win a championship with, obviously. And then, all right, then let him go for a decade. I went a little longer than that. With Jordan, it wasn't a bridge the gap. It was me playing at a high level. And then when it was time for his time, you think he's going to be a 10-plus year starter. With these young guys, if you're playing them right away and you think he's a 10-plus year starter in the league, that's his ceiling. Then you got to go through the growing pains without overreacting every single game. Win, crown them, lose, get rid of them. That's just not sustainable in this league. It's not sustainable in business either. And we are a business. So the business should be what is in the best interest of the business moving forward in a positive direction. And that is not overreacting. That's hiring the right guys, trusting them to do their job, and then letting them do their job.
I appreciate that answer on the entirety of the NFL right there. And we'll get better to not be a part of the problem. Right, boys?
I'm not pointing the finger. You guys are a part of the conversation.
Yeah,
that's the conversation.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. But whenever you think you start laying out some of those things about patience and transition and stuff like that, it's like those first couple of years might be bad, but it doesn't lead to a decade of being terrible.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think fans are tough to be like, oh, so we're just punting on this year? This year is just a bad year? It's like, might need this year to be a bad year so that the next 10 to 15, we're not saying the same.
Well, here's another point to that. Les Snead in L.A., what did he do? He mortgaged his draft capital for players he thought could help him win a championship, knowing there might be a couple thin years where we're going to have to figure some things out, and Matt's going to have to play great, and Sean's going to have to call great games, and we're going to have to win some games with some young guys because we mortgaged draft capital to win a championship. And I would call on Rams fans, would you rather trade 4 good years of, we got close, for 1 year winning a championship and 3 years where you're kind of struggling just to be in the playoff hunt? Good question.
That is a good, especially at home.
I think we all know what the answer is.
Give me the chip.
Yeah.
BC, what is the answer?
The championship every single
championship.
time. Yeah.
Every single time, right? Yeah. I salute Les for that, and I know him a little bit. But he went all in on those guys, and they won a championship. And now they have a ring that they can wear whenever they want that says world fucking champion.
At home, too. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a whole nother... Yeah. The business conversation about 2 teams in L.A., Super Bowl in L.A., winning the Super Bowl in... that is...
I mean, do you think Stan Kroenke's mad that he's got another ring on his finger?
That guy wins a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, Avalanche, they won.
I mean, he even won that lawsuit with St. Louis, didn't he, inevitably?
Yep. Yeah. Uh-huh.
They were suing him big time.
And he's got a great winery in Napa, too.
Stan, you dog.
Okay.
You salty dog.
Aaron, we appreciate the hell out of you, man, for joining us on this Tuesday. Obviously, for the last 5 years, You've answered the bell every Tuesday, even after losses, hard losses. You've come in here, you've talked, you've kind of, let us in on what your mindset is as the season goes. And I think ultimately Jets fans are going to be thankful that you did as such. I know it's not as fun after a loss, but we appreciate the hell out of your time. Yeah.
Not as fun, but good day, mates.
Spot of tea. You are going to have a spot of tea, you son of a bitch. This guy. Good luck over there, and safe travels to London. We appreciate you.
Book club next week.
Fingerprints of the gods.
That's right.
Book it.
We got a 900-pager for you.
Yep. Need it.
And then we're going to have another one. Is it going to be weekly, bi-weekly?
We'll start with one and we'll see how it goes.
Okay, a book is coming.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers, thank you, buddy.
Aaron.
The first couple years we did it after losses. There wasn't a lot of losses.
No.
He won the MVP first 2 years.
1 seed.
Yeah, home field.
Yeah.
So, there wasn't a lot of losses, but when a loss would happen, a lot of people would be like, is he going to show up? Is he going to show up and answer? And it's like every time he did. I even wondered numerous times after some games, I'm like, if he doesn't come on Tuesday, I completely understand. I would completely understand. But every time he comes on, I don't want to say it's therapeutic for him, but I assume it is. And then also the fans of the team are like, okay, all right, here we go. Because that RELAX, relax thing is always a kind of a part of the messaging. And for him, you can tell he's not as happy, but also he knows we got another game coming, and then another one coming, and then another one coming. So you get a chance into the mentality of somebody that's at the top of their sport where it's like, hey, you guys can be pissed, and we appreciate that you're pissed. We're just as pissed as you are for about 12 hours. Then we are going to try not to be pissed for all parties next week. And then we got another one. And then we got another one. It's cool to see him frame it. AJ, it's been cool to kind of watch him handle those moments. And today, obviously, after what happened against Denver.
Yeah, he mentioned it. The NFL season can absolutely be a roller coaster if you allow yourself to get on that roller coaster. And it's not fun. It's not fun, up and down, hey, oh my God.
Cedar Point.
I'm the happiest guy I've ever been. We just won a game. And then the next game, everyone's on suicide watch, for a whole week. It's tough to, it sucks really bad to lose. We know that. Look at the Dolphins last night. It's not fun at all, but you got to have some kind of perspective and be like, hey, the only way we're going to get better is if I don't sit here and feel sorry for myself and I figure out a way to make this team better.
Yeah, and I wouldn't understand bad roller coasters because I grew up in Pittsburgh and went to Kennywood. So there's only good roller coasters.
They don't have any roller coasters there, so you don't really know.
What did Big Ben have to say about Kennywood again?
Yeah, what did he say?
He said his kids love it.
Did he say that?
They ride the steel curtain all the time.
Are we lying up here now?
What did he say? That's what he said.
No
he said his kids love it. They go every
Give him a call.
That wasn't what he said.
That is exactly what he said.
I heard what he said.
There was something he said before that.
Which was?
But then he said his kids go every year and they love it.
What did he say before that?
Do you think Ben Roethlisberger can walk through Kennywood in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania?
I mean, he's a god. He can walk anywhere in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Give him the coyote costume or whatever.
It's a kangaroo, and that's Kenny Kangaroo, and that's
You scumbag.
Son of a bitch.
You think just because Ben Roethlisberger could play quarterback in the NFL for 18 years, he could just put on that costume and be Kenny? I don't think so. Okay, so let's have a little respect for Kenny the Kangaroo as well. But he said he's never been to Kennywood.
Oh.
And then he said, I grew up in Ohio, going to Cedar Point. And then dunked on everybody else. But then he said, my kids go every year, they love it. And it's like, Ben, we need you at Kennywood. We'll turn that fucker into Bennywood if you want to. We'll shut that thing down.
There you go.
Kind of let you do your own thing. Nonetheless, the roller coaster ride of the NFL season is possible, and fans are tasked with living it. The passion of the fans and of us is the reason why the NFL is what it is. But players got to be the adults, and coaches got to be the adults in the room and go all right, we got to focus ahead. Vikings, tough one. After the Broncos?
Yeah.
That's a tough.
Rolling.
In London?
Yeah, it's brutal.
London, Dahn.
Switch up your routines, switch up your building, switch up everything, switch up time zone, and play a wagon. One of the only.
Who knows what the field will be like either? Is the field going to be all right?
Oh, boy.
Why is the field sloppy over there, it seems like?
That's a great question.
Soccer fields are always.
They do got
Not when soccer's played on it. When soccer plays there, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, but I think soccer running is different than what football running is.
It's also 120 pounds versus 300.
A lot heavier people. Yeah, a lot heavier.
And also scrumming. Everybody's in the way you're pushing off. Like you're trying to drive things in football.
Yep.
In soccer, you're trying to move things. So it's a little different push onto the pitch between the two. Yeah, light feet, quick feet.
Yep. It is at Hotspur, which I believe is a newer stadium than Wembley, which I believe they play at sometimes.
Hotspur. Do we know the Hotspurs?
Tottenham Hotspurs.
Actually,
Brand new
come on,
stadium.
JJ brought it up.
I believe that
last week
stadium.
talking about their stadium.
I believe that field walks in and out or changes levels.
Oh, it's got the different levels?
In and out, yeah.
So it's got like the concert. It's got the grass, the turf, the basketball. I think there's a court.
Yeah. They'll put the poopy one up for the.
Is that
NFL.
So
is it super grass?
I don't know.
Was that's turf, right? Was that turf or grass? That's
I think this is the turf.
They said, let's get the
That's
grass
turf.
off. Let's go to cement and then roll this
Yeah.
turf on top.
Rock hard.
Is that real? Go back to the beginning of that. Hold the fucking phone.
What?
This field is incredible. For who?
Roll out the soccer.
So they're taking the grass out. That's the grass, right?
Yeah, they took it outside for a little sunbathe,
And
just
then
like
they
they do.
beat the turf to the fucking.
It's actually just paint. They're just playing on cement. They're just painting.
All right, we don't need to watch this.
Oh no,
that's not good. It's just on a conference floor.
Yeah, it's just rock hard.
Yeah.
They got coconut husk in there, or is that?
I hope not.
Oi! Get
they
the
got
poopy
rubber.
field.
They're just rolling out the rubber pellets.
Oh, so it's turf.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
It's not even grass.
This is
turf.
gonna stink.
Man, how about them going? Look how sweet this field is. Let's get it out of the fucking way. now."
Yeah.
Legit.
It does look cool. The
It does-
state-
and it has a little bounce to it. You can tell because of what it's on top of. It's on top of some staging or whatever.
Yeah, they weren't.
Oh wait, this is Bills.
Wait a second.
It was last year, probably.
Last year, from where? Is that Wembley or Tottenham? That's Tottenham. Okay. All right. Well, good luck over here. Let's wash those knees.
Go get it.
Let's keep our feet up. Feet up. Maybe wear those Joey Flack.
Need them.
Ooh,
yeah.
Joey Flack.
Adjustable bottoms.
Yeah, the movable.
That
The Wentz
rotate.
ones.
How about that though? Them saying, "Look how awesome this field is."
We're not letting them use it.
Yeah, you're not using our grass.
Yeah,
And
fucking
then in
right.
America, they're like, for soccer, let's go ahead and put a good one on top.
Get the best. Get the best one.
What the fuck's going on? That was eye opening, right
Yeah,
there.
it's flipped. It's reversed.
Don't let what's his face, Bakhtari. Bakhtiari.
Oh yeah.
No,
Bakhtiari.
Yeah,
He
Justin.
saw that video and he literally what? He thought about it.
Probably flew over. Hey, you better fucking flip this.
Roll that field back out. Put the turf on top of the field.
Now.
Do whatever you got.
Might have done it himself.
I bet you he did actually.
Overnight. Like TC
Guaranteed.
and Mission Impossible does it without them even noticing.
Maybe.
Bang, dang, 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 dang.
That's not a weapon. That's a pretty good seller.
Ooh, nail guns, jackhammer, nail guns.
Turning into a construction site.
That's interesting because is he shooting a gun or is that a nail gun and he's trying to fix the side of the stadium?
Yeah.
You never know.
Something to think about.
Good one.
Somebody should jackhammer because that could be a weapon depending upon who's underneath it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or what?
also could just be on like a pogo stick. But now that we're talking about this, what if, I mean, they can rob like a bank or a treasure? Because they do that rob celebration where they break into the safe.
But you could definitely do that. You can do the safe, unless there's a gun inside of that
You're
safe.
stealing, yeah.
You go to the safe.
Stealing is fine.
Stealing's fine?
Yeah, as long as you're not shooting nobody.
Thou shalt not steal.
What if you get in a
guys-
fake
did you
knife
guys-
fight though?
The knife fight, I think, is going to be a problem because they won't know if it's a knife or a sword. Both of those could kill. Your generation, did you guys have lockers?
Oh, yeah. Yes, we did.
D-Bone, did you guys have
Combination?
combination lockers? Turn right, pass number. Turn left, pass number. Turn back to right, don't pass number. D-Bone,
I think he's sleeping.
you had those? Okay, good. I'm happy those survived.
Yeah. Those are awesome.
You like turn them 5, and then it just flips right on, and you don't have to lock it really.
Just gotta
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
If you like lock it and then you just turn it a little, like maybe 5 points
We
past it.
used to put if you put paper in there, it wouldn't lock. You can just
Yeah, my books came wrapped and then just got put in that thing. And then I opened that locker 3 times a year, maybe. I was not much of a... First day of school, though, it was cool to find where your locker is.
Who am I
okay,
next
who's
to?
near me? Oh, okay, everybody sucks over here. Sweet.
All right,
same M's as last year.
All right, let me open this thing. Okay, sweet. There's my shit. Put it back in there. Thanks. I'll see you next year.
Did you guys trade lockers?
Trade?
Ooh, I don't think so.
No.
That was not a move.
Ooh, I like your locker. I'm going to trade it.
Just use the football locker.
You guys are getting bullied out of your lockers? That's what I just heard.
You go to the better locker.
Yeah, so somebody.
Someone got bullied, yeah.
What are you trading?
Yeah.
Combination.
They got
Combination.
All
right, let's get to a break. On the other side, we're going to get smarter.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
As football people.
Here we go.
We're going to dive into some defenses, aren't we, DB?
Damn right.
Hey, we got some good clips.
We do.
Some.
Dogs across the NFL right now, defensive side.
Yeah.
People are talking about how, kickers are scoring at a higher clip than they ever have in the history of the NFL and all that. That's because defenses have been locking down. There's been a lot of great defensive play. I'm excited to see what teams are represented.
Me too. I know one that
Good
will
teams.
be.
Who's that? You're trying to guess?
Oh, I know for a fact the best play that happened on defense was against this team this weekend.
Oh, you think there's going to be a middle linebacker potentially?
I can guarantee.
Hey, we'll see. That's a tease.
Ooh.
That's a tease.
I don't even know. I do
can feel
know.
it.
Yeah.
You can feel it. As you're watching, you're like, everything DB, good DB.
Fuck. Someone tackle him. Someone tackle him.
Holy shit, they are so good. That's like the poster thing we were talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, be a friend, tell a friend something nice might change your life. Take 5.
Buffalo Bills. I love it. Where are my fathers? Anybody who's got children in this room? What's your name? Ed? I want you to catch that football. I want you to stand up for me, Ed. I want you to take that football right now in your hands, and I want you to squeeze it hard, all your muscles, and I want you to feel in your heart, feel in your body what that football and what that game of football represents to you and your family, what it's giving you. Can you feel it? I want to squeeze it. Can you feel that? All right, come on up. Let's hear it for Ed, everybody. Bless you. Let's get you on this side. Ed, I don't know. We got a football. Let's go. Here's what you do. Let's hear for you. Well, let me grab one thing here. I need this for the Bills. Imagine your child's having their birthday, and they're about to blow out the candle on their birthday cake. Can you see this in your mind? And right when you do that, they're about to blow out that candle on their birthday cake, and right when they do that, they're about to make a wish. Can you imagine this happening right now? Everyone, here's what I want you to do. Come on closer, come on closer. I'm going to cover this up. I'm going to count to 3. After 3, I want you to tell us all what your child was wishing upon. Open your eyes, open your eyes. I want you to see this. Open your eyes. 1, 2, 3. They blew out the candle on their birthday cake. Tell us, what was that gift they wanted? Say it right now. Say it.
To go to Disneyland?
Crazy, right?
What happened?
You imagined it, right? Look at me, Ed. Ed, I got some right here. You imagined that they wanted to go to Disney World, right? And what did you imagine? Them blowing out the candle on their cake. You squeeze that football, right?
Oh. It's like Mickey Mouse.
Josh, I tell you to look at this room, and I'm going to ask you to throw that ball. And I want everyone to know, under oath in court, I did not say a word to you about telling you who to throw that ball to. This is your own decision, 100%. True story?
True story.
All right, look around this room. I want to see your eyes. Look back and forth. Whew. Go ahead, tell us who you're throwing it to first.
Dawson.
Toss it.
Dawson Knox.
Dawson Knox? Because that's exactly who I thought it was going to first. Was that luck? You do it a second time, it's skill. Get that ball back. Get that ball back. Close your eyes. I already saw it. I already saw him read the room. Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. Josh, say it as you throw him the ball. Open your eyes, say it as you throw it to him.
Gregory Rousseau.
2 for 2. 2 for 2. Third time, you know what? Buffalo Bills, I'm not even writing it down the third time. I already know in my head. Say it. Who are you throwing to right now? Say it. Throw it to him.
Connor McGovern.
Throw it to him. I knew he would do that. You don't believe me, do you? You need proof. Connor, stand up, please. Question for you. You a married man? I see a ring.
I am, yes.
Would your wife know your ATM PIN code?
No.
Smart man.
Is there any way anybody in the world could know this code? You tell your folks, nobody, right? 0.
No.
0. Look this way. Think of the first number in this code. Imagine, look at me. 8. Is it an 8?
It is.
I got 8. Start of an 8, 8. Oh my God. It's another 8, 8, 8, 5. Oh, is that your code?
It is.
I told you I know exactly who to throw to. Dawson Knox, stand up for me, please. Dawson. What's your jersey number?
God.
Say it. 88. Greg Russo, stand up. What's your jersey number? 50.
All right, here we are on the NFL Pro homepage. Let's step into the film room. Show you how quickly, how easily we can find any play from any week. This is week 2. Find a play result. Interceptions, of course. One of the best interceptions I've seen ever. Not the one against Tua. Let's go to Cam Taylor-Britt. Gives Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to pick which camera angle we want, broadcast or sideline. I'm going to go with the broadcast view. It's just a quick, easy example of how quickly you can use this NFL Pro tool. Awesome, awesome tool. I mean, unbelievable interception. Let's go, baby.
Why is football the greatest sport on earth? And do you think football is the greatest sport on earth? And why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I'd get a good answer out of you, though. Like, I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't, because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long and inside of it, and your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for one main reason. It is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. And if you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court, I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie. That seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, you know, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions, there's a reliance on coaching, there's a reliance on preparation, there's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think players who play for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why at times I've taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. And your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure, that you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you.
Hey, let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Four.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. Hour 3 of the program starts now. Football is awesome. Week 4 of the NFL season wrapped up last night. Week 5 of college football wrapped up on Saturday, and it was fantastic. This upcoming weekend, College Game Day will be live in Berkeley, California, as the Miami Hurricanes travel to take on the Cal Bears. Now, the internet is having a good time with this.
Oh, yeah.
I believe more specifically, the Cal Bear Twitter is having the best time with this, which has invited others to have a good time with this entire thing. Can't wait to get out there. Cannot wait to see how it goes. 6 a.m. local start for that particular College Game Day episode. 7:15 local game kickoff, which is 10:15 Eastern time. This is the longest amount of time between game day and kickoff that I have ever experienced.
Wow.
If they're Cal, listen. I don't think anybody's ever thought, like, hey, you know what? Cal Berkeley, a lot of football fans. I don't think anybody's ever thought that. Maybe inside Cal Berkeley that is a thought. But, like, I'm from Pittsburgh. He's from Ohio. He's from South Florida. He's from Massachusetts. He's from
Connecticut, New York,
Cal Berkeley,
tri-state area.
It's Connecticut.
I was about to say, maybe not Bruce's exact thought. But football towns, like known, football. This is football place. So now, 6 a.m. start, longest time until actual game kickoff. Boy, I'm excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, me too.
I am very excited. Because if Pittsburgh, me growing up, let's say College Game Day was coming, 6 a.m. local time start, and then 7:15 game, probably not going to find me at that. And I love ball. I absolutely love it.
Live for it.
I think the Cal Bears fans are going to show up, which is a very cool thing in a big way, and I will have massive respect for them. Can't wait to get to Berkeley. Long flight. Should be awesome.
Hell yeah.
College football's delivering. NFL's delivering. That's AJ Hawk. The Talks Table's here at Boston Connor. Bruce Brown is in for Ty Schmidt out on assignment. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, AP Tone, and 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler is here. We alluded to it a couple times there during the conversation with Aaron Rodgers. This Davante Adams Las Vegas Raiders situation is brewing.
Getting loud.
It is getting very, very loud. Davante Adams on with Kay Adams on Up and Adams. He says his side about it, how he hasn't talked to the organization. Then there's some newsbreakers, local newsbreakers, NFL cover that are like, hey, sources are telling us that Antonio Pierce liking that particular post that reported that Davante Adams might have played his last snap for the Las Vegas Raiders is an indicator of how it is going behind the scenes, where the Raiders have potentially even reached out to other teams that might be interested in a veteran wide receiver. This whole song and dance potentially happened in the offseason, but they put it out, said, nah, Davante's one of our pillars, Max Crosby's one of our pillars. Now, all of a sudden, it's becoming kind of a story. And you have a lot of teams around the league that are looking for another weapon, especially with how the offenses have performed this particular season. D-Butch, Davante Adams on the move. It feels, and we're just catching up. We're just catching up, reading tweets, because it's active. This is an active happening right now as we're talking about it. Seems like there's a chance Davante Adams is on a Raider going forward. And you think about Rashee Rice. We obviously just had Aaron on, who's talked glowingly about Davante Adams. Davante Adams has spoken glowingly about him. You think they would want another weapon? Of course they would. There's NFL offensive productions. That anybody that wants to go on a Super Bowl, it's like, could be a great market for Davante and many other wide receivers.
It's getting loud, and Davante is in the prime of his career. He's still a great receiver, probably still a top 5, top 10 receiver, he feels. But at that position, you need a quarterback that's going to get you the ball. You need a good system. Aaron talked a lot about systems. And another thing he said about Davante, like, he practices and he goes about his business the right way. That's the only thing I've heard of him throughout his entire career. And at this point, the noise hopefully is just outside the building. Obviously, once you get the head coach liking a post or something, that makes it kind of everybody's news. Okay, everybody's kind of in. Then Davante has to answer questions about it. Antonio Pierce has to answer questions about it. It is getting louder. Obviously, Shefty shot down the potential trade to the in-division Chiefs, but you would think it's a lot of teams out there who would want a guy like Davante Adams, but he kind of went to bat for Antonio Pierce. Him, Max, all those big-time guys kind of went to bat for their coach, so I would be surprised if he just kind of switched it up at this point this soon. It'll be interesting, something to keep our eyes on, November 5th?
Yep.
Deadline, so long time. We'll see.
The Instagram matters conversation has been happening, I think, with younger media for a few years now. Probably 4 or 5. As long as we've been operating, social media reaction by players in the offseason matters. And at the beginning of this entire thing, all the, I don't want to say legacy media, but journalists the legacy medias would be like, we're worried about what an Instagram post is. Yeah. We're worried about them removing photos on their Facebook, my face. Okay. That entire thing. Means. It's like, it's very real. It has been very real on numerous occasions. It is the player's way to indicate how they feel about a situation. If a player breaks up with a significant other, guess what else is getting deleted from that particular account? Boom! Significant other never existed. Mm-hmm. So if a player is deciding, hey, I don't want to be seen in this uniform ever again, even though I'm under contract, that is a massive statement. Antonio Pierce liking that post is a big conversation, because Antonio Pierce, young enough, understands what the implications potentially are. Did he accidentally do it while he was just scrolling? Huh. Mm-hmm. Was he just scrolling and he
that was his real account too? We know that was confirmed his real account.
Yeah. Does he run his account?
Yeah, there's so many things. Was it an accident? And now there's full questions. So we'll wait until Antonio Pierce talks again. But it's like shit that happens on social media does matter. It matters a lot, and it has for some time now, even though people haven't necessarily wanted to admit it. And you talk about Devontae Adams. He mentioned Adam Thielen's name in there.
Oh, yeah.
Then he mentioned
the Deontay
Johnson.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of names potentially at that wide receiver position that are on the market. And Schefter's big take was you can't just drop them in. It's not like how it works. You don't just boop, and then they have success.
To another team?
Yeah. But it is, there are some players
I think you could drop Devontae in. You could drop Devontae into most places, and he'd be all right.
Yeah, especially depending on what team.
What are you talking about?
I think he was talking Adam Thielen, Deontay. I think like the whole thing. Yeah. I think he was talking about the entire wide receiver market. But like with where offenses are versus where I assume some people thought they were going to be and how they're performing, you can add another weapon. I think wide receiver trade. I think there's going to be a few of them. Oh, yeah. I think there's going to be some real action at the trade deadline November 5th.
I mean, I get what Schefter's saying, but like just going back a few years to the Rams, like Odell goes to L.A. and he has like 8 touchdowns in 5 games or something absurd like that. Like it can't happen if they go to the right place. So you're talking about like an Andy Reid and like the Chiefs getting a guy, or I mean, we saw it last night, the Lions go after somebody, or the Packers, even like a Devontae reunion with Matt LaFleur with a young wide receiver room. Like that would be pretty sweet.
Pittsburgh
as well.
Steelers, a lot of fans think that they still need a number 2 wide receiver after they were allegedly in the Brandon Ayuk combo.
Anyone who was in that conversation, I would assume, is still probably especially the Commanders. If you get one, I was going to maybe not them, but the Commanders. If you go someone with Terry McLaurin, something like that. Steelers, those were the teams.
I didn't even think about the Commanders now all of a sudden being a good place to land.
Yeah. I mean, you would want to, I don't know how much if he has no trade or anything like that, but he would want to go to a quarterback if he were to move, because I mean it is so frustrating as a receiver. And I went to college and I had a choice, hey, receiver, DB, and it was pretty quick. All right, Dan Orlowski's gone, trying to figure out all right, you know what, I'm going to DB because I can control much more of my fate. I could just be running routes, throwing my hand up. Hey, Pops, post these clips of me. I'm fucking You're not throwing me the ball. You got to worry about protection. You got to worry about a good game plan.
True.
And then once defenses start to say, all right, hey, because every week, Wednesday team meeting, Devontae Adams is going to be a game record. So teams are going into games, with a plan to take him away. So you got to have a coach and a quarterback that's smart enough to still get you open. So it has to be so frustrating for him going from a guy like Aaron Rodgers in that system and always having an option to get open. All right, they're going to be rolling up to you. Just sit in that window. I'm going to find you, and then go into a situation where, hey, Derek Carr may be the guy. Now he's out, and now we're trying to figure it out. So it's tough.
I know, and a lot of people will say, well, he chose to do that. That was kind of like one of the conversations was like, allegedly, Devontae never said this. We're just saying people were saying he wanted to prove it's not just everybody gives Aaron the credit of it. It's like, I want to do this. And I think a lot of people were he got paid at the time so much money for the wide receiver position. 100% earned, deserved.
Yep.
You get it, but a lot of people said maybe it'll be different whenever, depending on who your quarterback is. I think then Derek ends up leaving.
Yeah, has a great season.
Has a great season, ends up leaving. It's like then you get a quarterback carousel, which I assume he didn't think he was going to end up in because once again he's college teammates with the guy.
Yep.
He gets pushed out.
Yeah.
He gets pushed out the door, seemingly in the middle.
Benched.
And then Devontae's like, what the hell? I didn't know I was signing up for this, though. It's
prime, too. Still in his prime.
So good at football.
3 years in a row. And they had Jimmy G last year. It wasn't even just hey, I'm going to the Raiders because me and Derek Carr, good relationship, Raiders fan. I'll go there and play with him again. We played in college. It'll be awesome. They push him out, bring in Jimmy G. He plays with Jimmy G. They push him out, and now he's with Gardner. Like, it would make sense if he was like, you know what, actually, I do want to.
And Gardner's a dog. We all understand that. We are very appreciative for Gardner Minshew for what he did for the Indianapolis Colts last year. Adam Thielen, though, got a big payday from the Carolina Panthers, right? That was under a different regime, different coach. Deontay Johnson, whatever ends up happening down there in Carolina, I guess
he's on his last year because he got traded this offseason from the Steelers.
Yeah, but he's got 1 year left. Are they going to pay him long term? Who knows? Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. So he's available. Yeah. Then there's, who else did he say? He said Nuke Hopkins, potentially available. And he's going to get, he's D-Hop. So if he gets on a team that has like 2 other weapons, or he's going to be able to make plays.
Still looked unbelievable last night.
Yeah. Had a couple over the mid. I mean, he's so good. In his hands, remember.
Still a dog.
Or the size.
Large.
That is.
And you think about teams like the Jags, if they continue to lose, like you would assume maybe they would think about Christian Kirk being moved because especially with how good the rookie Brian Thomas Jr. has been, it's like, okay, well, we could maybe move on from Christian Kirk too if that saves a bunch of money.
Is this going to be an electrifying trade deadline?
Maybe. Be sick.
Today's heating up. Today is heating up the conversation with Devontae, but there's obviously a lot of other opportunities. Let's go to Rashee Rice's story. AJ, so there was a tweet out by Adam Schefter yesterday that was basically like, they're going to run some more tests. We're going to run some more tests. We're not going to know the full extent of the injuries until probably next week. After further testing of Rashee Rice's knee today, there remains uncertainty over the extent of his injury, per sources. After consulting with team doctors and receiving second opinions, more tests are required to determine the full extent of Rice's injury and his recovery timeline. No answers are expected until next week. So when I read that just on the internet when it showed up, I was like, okay, so there's going to be more injuries than just ACL to the extent of his injuries. Like, I think just because how nasty it looked, how bad it looked. And then Schefter has followed up upon that both on his podcast and I think on maybe a show. He was doing a radio show, I think, where he said, like, this is good news, he thinks, where it's like they think that it wasn't as bad as it looked, as bad as Andy Reid thought it was, as bad as he thought it was, as bad as the people that were carting him off as it is. So they're actually getting more testing to make sure, like, wait a second, it's not as bad as we thought. That's kind of the way Schefter is kind of angling it. Ain't that right, Tom?
Yeah, on Schefter's podcast, he was basically saying, like, normally when these NFL ACL injuries happen, they happen on Sunday, Monday morning, boom, confirmed, he's out, ACL. Now, in this situation where it wasn't confirmed on Monday, now Tuesday or whatever, and he's getting many, many more opinions, he doesn't think it's cut and dry like, hey, he's got a torn ACL or whatever. This is a good news. They're looking to see if it's something that he can possibly return from this season.
Definitely hurt.
Yes, definitely hurt.
Definitely hurt. Pain, obviously, they ruled him out this week, and they'll get the test back. Yeah. But the conversation is like, he might be able to return. He might be able to return this year is what the hope is, I guess, from these tests, AJ.
I took that from Schefty's initial tweet. I took it as a good thing for Rashee because I feel like the only reason you continue to do tests and you find more doctors to look at it or whatever is because there's a chance you could play. Like if his ACL was torn, it's just like, okay, what doctor's going to do my surgery? How are we doing moving forward? I feel like there's a chance he comes back and plays. I don't know when that is, but there's hope this season, I think, from what we're hearing.
I was just looking at it so negatively, I think, the way full.
Just because it was nasty. It was gross. It was gross.
And then Andy Reid goes, not good.
Yeah.
And I don't love all these interviews. I'm going to say it.
The pregame,
I agree.
Little overexposure.
As somebody that is, in the content world and we like access and hard not everything like that I do, forcing these dudes who are playing and coaching, that looks bad. It's a hyperextension of a knee as well as like a full pivot and
on turf.
It's not good. But just like moments before getting introduced, I think Von Miller was doing an interview, and then literally his name was getting called to go get introduced. It's like that's a big moment. Like that's a for him mentally trying to get into like I don't want to say gladiator mentality, and not everybody is like that, but it's like. Right before the game, I think Jared Goff, he got interviewed.
I mean, Kyle Hamilton on Sunday night right before the Bills.
Answers are this long. Yeah. And you're getting nothing. You're going to get nothing out of this. I think we're going to get nothing out of those forever and ever, amen, with players before the game. Because, like, everybody, I mean, even I feel like I'm one of the most casual people that have maybe ever played in the NFL. Like, very chill, would like to lay low, like, all good on sideline, vibes high whenever I figured it out. It's like right before a game, though, there's like, okay, here we go, like, let's go. Like, this is what you do everything for. And I think they made a rule that they have to do these interviews.
It's in the contract.
Yeah, it's like you have to do it. And I don't know if it's Coaches, I think you can go talk to. Coaches have had to do this before.
Yeah.
The players, I don't think you're ever going to get shit from them. Legitimately. And it's another thing that players have to worry about. Can't say anything stupid, can't give away game plan, can't bury anybody else, can't do. It's a lose for the player. There isn't, you know what I mean, AJ? Do you feel the same way? I've been watching them.
Absolutely.
I think they're all terrible. And I'm like, why? I knew it was in the contract, it was a big deal, but I'm like, there's no winning on the receiving side of the interview, which means the person doing the interview, there's no. That's not I don't know.
It's really hard for that person as well. It's really hard for the person conducting the interview, too, knowing, like, hey, this is, like, I got, 20 seconds right before this gigantic moment for these people. Yeah, players are weird. I thought when I initially heard it, like, okay, yeah, coaches, of course. Put that in the contract. Make them do interviews going into halftime or after halftime. But for players, I never thought that was involved. So it is a bit weird. Maybe it'll get better as time goes and guys get more used to it.
I don't think so. I assume SID people, PR people, are telling players very late about that too, because they don't want another thing to think about. Like, we don't need another thing for you to think about on game. Minutes before this game's about to start, okay? You're going to go on national television in front of 20 million people, okay? Don't say anything, but say stuff.
Something.
But make sure you're very good and you represent the team well. Represent your own brand. Yeah, they're telling them that.
Yeah, and also, people from the other team are watching this, so don't give away shit.
Yeah.
Don't give away. It's right. I don't know.
You're in a whole different, like you said, everybody's different. Everybody goes about their business differently, getting prepared for a game, but you are in a completely different mindset where you're going into a game and even coming out of a game. That's why we get that 15-minute cool-off period before the media can come in the locker room. So I hate it. I know access is everything and content, and fans probably want to see it and get that type of access. Hey, what is the mindset of the one good one I saw was TJ Watt, JJ Watt, and that's because he's talking to his brother. But even when he was having the conversation with JJ, he was like, man, I'm trying to get in the mind frame right now. He's sent something for his kid. He was like, yeah, thank you for trying to get me out of my mind frame. So to your point, like, with the players, what they're preparing for, and like you said, some people, it's not this, it's not that. Like, you do have to get a different mindset, I think, to play like a full-speed football game.
Yeah, there's only so many jobs.
Yeah.
There's only so many jobs, and then also
they all matter too.
So many injuries that can happen, and there's so much on the line every single play. So when that thing kicks off, like the national anthem is a big deal because that is like literally you see everybody's either praying or it's like their last. It's like we're about to go lay it on the line. Punters and kickers obviously different. We don't do our job, bro. We're fired, though. We understand that. But everybody else, it's like, we're about to go run full speed into other people. Like, that is... So there's a mentality you have to get to for that particular... I don't love... You said fans love the action. I guess the TJ JJ one became a moment. And was that right before the game?
No.
I don't think it was right. It was during warm-ups.
Yeah, maybe before going in the locker room.
Yeah, it was like, right before the game. I don't think I've seen one. And I'm predicting, not that I'm a good prognosticator or anything like that. I'm predicting there's not going to be a single good one that comes from that at all.
The golf one was pointless, to your point.
Terrible.
He didn't say a single word. The only thing I got out of it was like, all right, Jared Goff's locked in. I like that.
Bingo. That's the only thing you can say. I guess you could find out if somebody's a little nervous.
Maybe.
Like the kid that kicked at Alabama for the kicking is easy segment. His roll tide was the worst.
Yes, terrible of all time.
He was scared to death. And me and Drewski literally looked at each other and no shot. This kid is scared to death right now. Second one, pretty good kick, but his roll tide was just like he was losing his, he's a little flustered. Could you imagine a player goes on there and does that? Just sounds nervous and then goes and just gets fucking whammed on immediately afterwards. Oh my. That could happen. We need Will Levis to do one of these interviews.
Yes, we do.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think they're going to be interviewing him. After the game, actually, did you see the little scene? Because, they were setting it up to interview Mason. And Will Levis, look, I was just as a spectator kind of thinking.
Oh, you're kind of putting your own thoughts into this.
Just putting my own thoughts into it. But he did, take a look over, they haven't done that with me yet. And then left. Because they haven't won.
Yeah, that's you talking shit. That's you talking shit.
It is me talking shit, but the proof's in the pudding. It's just what I saw. It was a little awkward scene of him floating around after talking to Snoop Huntley.
Aaron might be, if they were to interview Aaron right before, he might have enough. But even he'd
be pretty good
in those games. I mean, you see, the reason why he looks so depressed on that sideline when things aren't going well is because how fucking invested he is into football. You're talking, people used to make fun of him for it, I guess, and hold it against him. He's like, no family, no kids. Like, hey, I'm playing football. Like that is, people don't ever talk about that with that dude's like commitment. He's chin strap off immediately after, wants to take hits, knees sore, old school dude. And then when you think about it, like there's a lot of guys who delay having kids until after their playing career is over because they hear Hall of Fame speeches and there's no way you can be around as much as you should be as a dad and also be a great football player. It's like, Aaron Rodgers, and you know him a lot better than me, it is that whole thing that's been held. Look at this guy. He's not married, doesn't have any kids. It's like, what do you think he's focused on ayahuasca. Okay, that's 3 days. All right, now let's do every other hour of his existence. What is he? Oh, he's figuring out how to read your defense better than everybody else and throw a football better than everybody else in history. And then he's worried and focused on the team winning. And then when they lose, he's listening to what everybody's saying. And then he's getting these chips out, you see? And then he's focused on stacking those things. And then he's recovering from an Achilles faster than anybody in history. And then he's coming out with a big fuck you. That's why I think this upcoming week in London, your question was a good one about last international game potentially. Like obviously he appreciates football and he appreciates the NFL and the sport and growing the game and like that. Guy's going to want to put on a performance out there.
Oh, yeah.
Especially after what happened this past week against Denver. He called it an anomaly, AJ. He called it an anomaly over there for their performance.
What a weird. So I went to a Jets game last year that he obviously was not playing in December. I believe they played the Falcons, and it was the exact same situation: cold, drizzly rain. Definitely not a packed barn by any means. Not every seat was not filled due to the brutal weather and how the game turned out pretty much like the one the other day. Like it felt like that, and it was just a weird vibe, a weird atmosphere. And I think that's what that whole day felt like just now.
Little Sleepy Hollow feel. We've been a part of a couple of those over at MetLife. I think we had a day game over there where it was miserable.
Yep.
I think it was gloom, doom, rain.
Just Jersey.
Just coming. Yeah, basically. That's kind of how it goes.
Turns into a shithole fast.
What's that?
MetLife turns into a shithole fast.
The weather or everything about it?
Everything about it.
What about whenever you take an RV and you just ram it right into an
Doesn't help.
overhead? Try to take it down. Thing's still standing over there. I like that he's saying though, we need to turn that into our advantage. Like the shitty, gloomy day where other teams are like still tired. Like, man, it's kind of hard to get up for this. It's kind of a shitty day out here.
Bring your own juice, guys. You got to bring your own juice. Yep. That's
like, hey,
you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that.
No, but he's saying we need to make this an advantage as opposed to like.
Yeah.
So that's 11 a.m. start for Denver too.
Oh.
Coming from Mountain.
Right. Yeah, you got to embrace it. Gotham football.
That's right.
Yeah.
Did you see that Sleepy Hollow High School the other week?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Headless Horseman comes out and leads the team. Headless Horseman on a horse, actually,
Yeah.
Really?
Much faster than players. So players way behind. The horse is kind of the
Horse
show.
had to go sideways a couple times.
Yeah, horse had, whoa!
Little scared of the track,
seemed
like.
You didn't see it?
It's
No.
pretty sick.
So
I didn't
you
see
were
that.
taking somebody out on the entrance.
That was awesome.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Man.
Like Ricochet out there.
Yeah, it did. And I was about to say, whenever they get rolling, too, there's a lot of momentum going.
yeah.
A lot of power.
See ya.
Guys in full pads. What the fuck? What was that?
Laid out.
I'm so sorry. I was just in the middle of my 14th whoop-de-woo.
I had to sign that kid. Put that kid in pads.
Yeah, here's the Headless Horseman.
Okay.
Coming out. Now, it's very bright outside.
It doesn't have the same effect.
Yeah.
Is it a JV game?
Place is jam-packed.
She gets some smoke on this thing, too, like underneath there. But that horse wanted to run. That horse wanted to let it ride. Had to wait, and then all of a sudden, Headless Horseman says, fuck it, I'm going. And then end up being about 50, 60 yards ahead of the team. But I want to let you know, set the tone that this is what we're about here at Sleepy Hollow. Nobody's there.
No.
Nobody.
Beautiful day.
Where is it? Wonder where it is.
Too beautiful.
I did not see where it
Is
was.
that a high school game?
Those are picture clouds.
I'm saying northeast, right? Sleepy
Yeah,
Hollow.
yeah.
Gotta be.
Singing either Pennsylvania or like Connecticut.
Where do we go up there? We were up there, was it Ty's wedding?
Yeah, Newport, Rhode Island.
We came in, wife and I, when we were driving in over the bridge, it was like gloomy.
Yeah, fog.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I felt I was in I actually thought it was Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I am in the middle of this movie. New York.
There it is.
Tarrytown.
Tarrytown.
Go Horsemen. Horseman pride.
They got no fans.
What a dump.
That was the away side. That's why the horse ran.
It's a spooky place.
Tarrytown.
Bad team.
They only show up for night games.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Why were they playing in the middle of the day like that? You guys don't do high school football at night up there in the Northeast?
In New York?
A lot of places don't have lights.
You guys hate ball, dude. What are we even talking
Well, it's because it's Terrytown. It's a small town, but populated heavily because it's near the city. So there's you can't put up lights without it blinding the whole neighborhood.
Do people pay taxes over there?
No,
that's
not real.
Yeah.
The town can't pay for some lights over there?
No, it's
Those lights
going to the
direct on the
neighbors'
field.
houses.
That's bullshit.
There's houses around every high school stadium in the world.
Big fight. We just got.
You guys don't like ball over there? We don't like ball?
New
Costs a lot
York,
of money.
New York especially. The high school football varies in significance.
I know. I got pitched lights on youth soccer field in Plum up at Larry Mills Park. Like, toss around the idea of getting lights up there because that's where youth soccer plays, and I think the junior high plays there, and then high school plays at the stadium. And thought it was cool with the We're All Mustangs Here fund. We started chatting. I'm like, would have been cool for me, just me specifically, if I could have had a couple night games as a kid. That gets you in a moment too. Then whenever you get to high school and it's I think it's good. I looked up the pricing. Boy,
yeah, $4 million.
Those lights are pricey.
Whoa. Yeah.
Those things are pricey. Shit is a lot of money. It is a lot of money. I had no idea. So I don't want to mock too much. But with that being said, you would hope that the town would at least love ball enough to put some lights in.
You can also wheel lights in. I know in a couple of the places
plays.
we played, they didn't have lights, but they would, for big games, they would bring lights in for the field.
Tall ones? They
weren't that tall.
Yeah.
They
Ohio
weren't
State didn't have. Ohio State didn't have them until 10, 15 years ago. They didn't have permanent lights. They'd bring them in for night games.
Same with Michigan State.
Doesn't it feel like the light game now, though, vastly different than it was 10 years ago? How about down in Alabama? They fucking just turn those lights on. We played against Cincinnati.
awesome.
We played against Cincinnati on a Thursday night game, I think, and lights went out halftime. So obviously delay second half as they're warming up. One half of them heated up faster than the other half, and the other half was slowly coming back. I think we played a part of the game with one of the lights and one of them not. So obviously it was, but then they inevitably got back.
Remember when you were calling Thursday Night Football, East Carolina, that happened. It delayed the game for 30, 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah, I do. That's a good, when the lights. I remember. I started singing it. And then there was a dude on that particular field that night because the fans were the game was being delayed, doing whoop-de-whoop.
Oh, yeah, they had talent out there.
They had an Olympian, an Olympian flipper on the field. And I was trying to talk to the truck. I don't even know if that was possible with the way those games were set up. I'm like, hey, there's a fucking, can we get a camera? Right? If we're going to, there is a dude down there. He did I think he did 30 straight flips in front of because the crowd was just watching. And then at the end, whoa, place went crazy. I'm like, that's a show right now. But I think it was a 25-minute re-warm up.
It was a long time, yeah.
And now these things.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Happened
Niners
Ravens.
Yeah. Beyonce blew the power.
And then had to wait for them to warm up. Now it's not like that anymore?
I don't know.
Some places. I think a majority they do have to wait. I think the light show, that's a scheduled thing for Bama versus flipping the switch.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, the fact that they can go on and off like that, it is bananas.
Crazy. They did after every touchdown, though. So
that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's a show. It's a light show for sure. But those lights didn't used to be able to just turn off.
Yeah, the old ones used to be halogens or whatever they're called.
Yeah, it's LED, right?
It's a warm up and a cool down period. The new one's just LED.
They have to be so much money. These
so
LED.
much, yeah.
Alabama, Kirk Herbstreit posted a video of maybe third quarter or kickoff. I forget what it was. But the whole place, the lights were going on and off down in Alabama. Songs were playing. There were spots. It might have been Dixieland Delight. And Kalen DeBoer said, when do we do that? I don't know when we do that. I think I might have missed it tonight. Because they do, I guess it's a moving time, obviously, depending upon who has the ball and everything.
When
like
they
that.
need it.
With the Dixieland Delight. But Kirk was like, every stadium that operates in professional sports should come check out what they're doing at this place. Because just every single second, it is energy. And it's as opposed to we talk about Cedar Point roller coasters where people ride the Dahns, and then there's the ups with the show. It's Alabama was, I don't know how much money they spent on all that shit. I have no idea. They've had to invest greatly in it, and it helps.
Worth it.
It absolutely helps.
Well, Penn State. Does Penn State do anything for their light show? Or not Penn
I would
State?
assume.
Sorry, South Carolina.
South Carolina definitely does.
Yeah,
I've
when they
watched it.
do Sandstorm.
They do.
Yeah, here's the.
That's pretty good.
Here's Kirk Herbstreit's video, I do believe. Oh, this is an online video from YouTube, I guess. Okay, same exact post that Herbstreit had, though. So it might have been ripped from Herbstreit, to be clear. Happy he's not using the bold letters on X anymore.
Thank God.
That needed to stop.
Elon took that away, I read. Was that real?
Yeah. Elon felt the same way that we felt with all these people that are on Twitter using the bold thing. Oh, we're going to stick out. Too many of you are doing it. No, nobody sticks out.
How am I supposed to know who's important if it's not bold letters?
Okay, I'm not getting into it. I'm not getting into it. Those bold letters, though, everybody thought they cracked the code. Everybody thought they had it. It did stink, didn't it?
It was awful.
Isn't it crazy? Like the things that people would assume would be good.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, we're not about it. The internet is very much a we're not about it place. And that's easy come, easy go.
Yep.
Yeah, that is easy come, easy go.
Kaboli was doing it well with like the title.
Boom.
Like there's a place for it, but if you're just going every fucking tweet, I'm gonna bold the shit out of this thing.
We don't like it.
Why?
Won't work.
I'm sure there's people that did like it though, so we're not speaking for everybody. We're just talking about for every human that I know that lives on X pretty much. We were sick of it pretty quick.
Yeah.
Why is this asshole doing? And then why is this? Everybody has the capability just to be bold. Is that the new font of X? I don't understand what's going on. I don't even know how to do it.
Me neither. I thought you had to do it on your computer.
Yeah.
That's what it is?
I think it's desktop.
I'm not even getting into it because
It was desktop only at first, but then an update was released a couple days ago that enabled it on mobile. That's why everyone started doing it.
I don't love the view post interactions to get to how many quote tweets tweets got. Quote tweets are the most important thing on X. Shouldn't be harder to get to that. I think that was a bad update, personally. The bold thing, I think that I'm happy that's going away. I'm happy that's going away.
You still block people. So I like blocking people.
Me too.
For now.
I love blocking.
Yeah, they're
For
taking
now.
that away.
They're taking it away.
Come on, Elon.
I have somebody come up to me and be like, can you unblock me? I'm like, I don't know if you know me. I'm pretty stubborn.
You deserve it.
You did something. I didn't just block you for no reason.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't just go, hey, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to block this guy. I said something I thought was funny. I'm like, yeah, well, I didn't think it was. All right. See you later.
Sorry about it.
I have unblocked a few people, though, in my older age.
Nice.
These people seem to be very kind. But, boy, I'm still blocking people, though.
Yeah, I'm more like Shadur. I'm not the forgiving type.
Well said.
I hold on to grudges.
Well
I don't play
said.
the
Me too, brother.
game.
Me too, brother. Hey, that Colorado team, real deal.
I like them. I mean, I like them coming in. Obviously, there's a lot of questions, especially in the trenches, offensive, defensive line. But they've look like they figured out long season. Still a lot of games left, but 4-1 now? I don't know what their win total was coming into the season, but
5.5.
I feel like every game of theirs has been nationally televised, so everybody's gonna be watching, either watching because they like them or hate watching. You're gonna be on one side of the fence or the other with Coach Prime and how he goes about his business. But Travis Hunter is unbelievable. In my opinion, should be the front runner for the Heisman and the number one pick right now with how he's playing on both sides of the ball. And then obviously Shadur is great at quarterback. But yeah, I like what I've seen in Colorado so far this year.
I think it's a fascinating conversation. And Travis Hunter's unbelievable. So good at football. It's fun to watch. It's a lot of fun to watch. If he goes to any other school, I guess not any other school, there's probably numerous places in him hitting the Heisman post. Could that be prophetic? We shall see. You remember Des Ben Howard has that moment where he hits one and numerous other people. But if Travis Hunter goes to one of these massive, programs, I assume there's going to be a conversation early about how if you want to be great, you got to pick one of these, to focus on full time. And Prime goes, nope. I played professional baseball. I played professional football. I played all three sides of the ball. You can pull it off. Not everybody can. People can pull it off. And he has gone to battle for him seemingly in this entire thing. And now it's to a point where everybody in the country wants to watch him play football on both sides. The Travis Hunter brand is awesome. It is an awesome thing.
It's unbelievable. I got a chance to do it with, to your point, Randy Edsel, my head coach in college. He made me choose, and I would ask him every year, hey, can I play some offense this year? Can I play some offense? And finally he was like, senior year came back and he let me play some offense. But I had 15, 20 plays maybe, depending on the opponent. I can't imagine going through that every week. I know he doesn't practice a bunch, which is smart, but Deion, he said it in the last interview, I'm glad he chose, me and us to come play for it, because if he hadn't, think about all the plays you wouldn't have seen from Travis Hunter, either offense or defense, for him to be able to do it. Him sitting down with C. Wood, obviously another two-way player, Champ Bailey, Aqib Talib. It's been a few, but for him to do it full time, it's different. I understand a lot of people saying it's no way he can do this on the next level.
Why not?
Full time. But, this dude.
Maybe not for 15 years.
Maybe not, but I would assume if he comes in as full time on, let's say, defense, I would have a package from a coach to have Travis Hunter on the field, and vice versa. If he's playing offense and maybe third down or red area or something, I throw him in there at corner. But he is just a phenomenal athlete, unbelievable player. But what he's doing physically to be able to run full speed and play how he does, mentally and physically, every game is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's like a football junkie too. You know, he has to be to be as smart. Like that thing, that zone coverage comes off his person, drops into the flat. Like that's a high level. That's a high level
effort too.
Yeah, high effort, high level DB play, and then him hitting the guy at the goal line to win it in overtime. 2 weeks ago, and then his one-handed touchdown. I mean, it's just like
it's a freak.
The guy's football IQ is incredible to be able to do both sides. I think there's like some people on the internet that'll find some plays where maybe he's taken off or whatever. It's like the guy's playing 90 to 100 plays.
Everyone has.
Every single. There's going to be times where he knows the ball's going the other way. Once again, football IQ.
Yeah.
Let me steal some breath here, and then let's keep it moving. It's like, I love Travis Hunter, but we all know, modern day NFL, first pick of the draft is going to be a quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Let's say the Patriots on the clock, first pick of the draft.
Ooh, already got their quarterback.
Jags.
But you know what else that means? That means some other team that doesn't have a quarterback is looking to trade to get there, to get a quarterback.
Is it a guy in this draft who you feel like is a Caleb Williams or Trevor Lawrence when he was coming out, Andrew Luck? Is it a guy who is like, hey, this is a generational for sure guy?
Jalen Milroe, obviously going to be up for the conversation. Shador is going to be in that conversation. I assume Cam Ward has earned himself some of that conversation, depending upon how the rest of the year. Carson Beck, people are talking about.
Quinn is the most regarded.
Quinn
as
Ewers,
the highest,
obviously.
draft pick quarterback coming out.
Also, but if you're the Patriots too, if it's someone going from like 1 to 3. And you're like, okay, well, we can probably still go back to 3 and take him. Like then maybe he's still getting.
I would take it. Just want to let everybody know. I think Travis Hunter should go number 1 overall. But the reality is of the business, that number 1 overall pick is normally reserved for a quarterback. Just like that Heisman is normally reserved for a quarterback. Just like the NFL MVP is normally reserved for a quarterback in recent football history. That's just kind of how it all goes. Genti up there, 847 yards in 4 weeks and 12 touchdowns or something. I forget how many touchdowns he has in 3.5 weeks or whatever the case, because he only played first half of one of the games. Him up there being as high as he is, that's awesome news for the skill positions. It's like, maybe this is the year Travis Hunter debunks it all because he's playing every snap of every game. I want him to kick one. He needs to kick one. He needs to kick an extra point.
Trifecta.
Certainly can.
He needs to punt one and needs to kick an extra point at some point this year, just so it can be like, and throw one.
Yeah.
If we get him throw a touchdown.
To Shador.
They'll do that. They'll do that.
Do the Amon-Ra play.
Need to have him throw one. Need to have him kick an extra point. Need to have him punt one, and then just be like,
I've done it.
This guy is football.
I can do it all.
What do you even need at all? Travis, we're lucky to watch it. We're also lucky that every single week we get to get smarter. That's right. We have a man who is one of the smartest football players, high football IQ players in the history of the NFL. 9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler, everything DB, good D, bad D.
Yes, sir. Let's get to it. Week 4.
What was Connor all worried about as we dive into the film here? Shout out to NFL Plus Premium's NFL Pro on the footage, and obviously NFL Pro is something that is going to become its own business at some point. It's currently living under NFL Plus Premium. It is fantastic, and as the season goes on, it gets more insights, more information, more shit, more conversation. It is every single clip of every single play, every single angle, every single highlight, everything, every third down, first downs, fourth downs, insights, narratives, what people are saying, health. I mean, it's a fucking sweet
weapon. It is so sweet.
I did not expect to like it as much as I have, because normally this type of shit's not easy enough to run.
No.
Like, video games, not easy enough for me to run. I did the NCAA 2K college football thing. I had to go through 14 Excel spreadsheets. A lot. I had to make all. I had to get it right, go down, select, slide, boom, bang, pow, push it. It's like, I'm not fucking doing this. I don't have enough time in my life to figure out how to even get to the game. Then once I get to the game, I don't know what any of these buttons are doing. I'm out of it. So I'm way behind. I feel the same way about all this tech shit. There's a lot of things that sound in theory great, but the inevitable to get to it, just not convenient at all. And also there's other ways to get this information. Basically, they have made it dummy proof.
Yes.
And it is information I don't think you can get anywhere else unless you have a stats person literally in your world. It is, hey, NFL, you did good with this one.
Oh, yeah.
Building a lot smarter football fans. But AP Tone made a comment earlier this year on X and said, hey, this guy may be the best back seven defender in the NFL. I think he's the best defensive player in the NFL. As soon as Con saw the play, he knew it would be on everything DB. First play, Fred Warner, linebacker for the San Francisco 49ers. You're showing right now, 3rd and 5, they're showing a double mug look. So you look right now as a quarterback, if you're Jacoby, you're thinking probably some type of press man, middle of the field safety, single high, probably going to have one-on-one outside. We're going to empty. All right, let me get to a quick play that's going to get me a first down. Post snap, Fred Warner will drop. You got it? All right.
Yeah, I got you.
Boom. Just watch 54. And Aaron, when we had Aaron on, he talked about some plays like after week 1, like, hey, against anybody else, these would have been 18, 25-yard gainers. Passes off, just watch his overall awareness, his drop, his vision on the quarterback, understanding of route concept. Passed the first crosser off. We saw this a couple weeks ago with Tyrann Mathieu. It was a little different because he was the robber. Has some vision in front of him. Maybe he takes it. Nope, I'm not going to go there. I'm actually going to drop back, get right in that window to the dig. Then gets up, fell flat on his back, took a nice bump, gets up, near sideline, up the sideline, back tight. When you set up back high and tight like that, you know you're getting tired, but got it all the way to the end zone. Just an unbelievable play from 5-4, pre-snap and post-snap.
Isn't it phenomenal? He actually lets 2 people pass him. He lets the first kind of thing go by him, and then he picks up the second post.
Great zone eyes, great zone discipline. Staying on that quarterback. And the reason you have those, especially on 3rd and 5, like a lot of young linebackers, young DBs, you're going to bite that cheese. You're going to, hey, I don't want to give up this first down. But him, he lets it pass. And he also sees he sees his guy on it as well, stays in that window, knowing like most dig routes, the quarterbacks want to complete them about 2 yards outside of that hash. I mean, just an unbelievable play from pre-snap to post-snap.
Wow.
I mean, do you want to go back to right before he throws it just to see how many people are open?
Let's see.
There's one open.
I mean, there's 2 open.
Yeah,
but
the guy that I called about him just letting by, wide ass.
Both of them. I mean, Jalen Pope, there's no one fucking in front of him. Jesus Christ. Like, look how much. He throw it to the 50 right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like there, and then, Pop Douglas, but you can argue the safety's looking at him. Like, you throw the ball.
Safety's breaking on that. And once again,
that's exactly why people are pissed about it.
If
That's exactly why people are
a little bit.
Like,
now, a lot of times,
fuck.
Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah, it's easy from the sky.
It's great. It's great from the fucking sky, but
Exactly.
from the quarterback's perspective, and Jacoby, I'm sure he's watching his tape and saying some of the same things. But when they're looking as a defense, like we're moving with the quarterback's eyes, and we know, okay, with that D line that San Fran has, he's not going to have all day back there. So you're going to be able to pause the screen and look here and say, hey, this guy is wide open on the right side. He has 3 guys open to the right side of the field, but the quarterbacks are staring or looking
There's
at
a
the left
reason
side.
they're wide open because everybody knows they're going left.
Yep, we're breaking, we're moving, on intention. We're dropping on intentions in zone coverage. Like, it's all about what the quarterback's doing. So as soon as he takes his snap, Jacoby's look down the middle. Now his eyes are telling all those underneath defenders, let me start dropping and peeking this way.
Yeah, you called the shed right there. That was awesome.
You call him the best defensive player in the NFL, right? So you just should avoid that guy in general. So we can say Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah, but look at him squatting down. He's hiding.
It's hard to avoid a guy.
Absolutely.
Dude, he's hiding in there.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably like Will Levis. He didn't fucking see him.
Yeah, it's hard to see Fred Warner. He's the best player in the NFL.
I mean, you got these guys right here. Come on, man. Look at this. We're in the sky.
Look where Polk is.
Look, he's crouched down.
Look where Polk is.
Don't you think Jacoby probably thought Devondre Campbell was going to drop this crosser and that Fred might pick him up and then send him over to the other guy, like the other zone defender. But Fred does a good job here. Like, look at this.
What's that right
when
there?
he takes a step up right there, I think Jacoby might have thought, hey, he's going to run with this crosser. And Fred just almost baited him into that.
That's an unbelievable play from Fred.
Yeah, you're saying it's Jacoby. It's actually just Fred.
Yeah. I think it's a great play. I mean,
he's sold. Hold on. To AJ's point.
We can both be right.
No, Fred sells that he's covering this guy hard. Look at him. He takes a step,
And then
hands
most
on him.
backers are going to jump down on that in 85. Most backers are, here, I got to jump on 85 and pull it. And he's going to take you out of that dig window, whoever's coming behind him.
So Jacoby sees that and he thinks he's gone. Right? That's what he thinks?
Or he hopes.
And then Fred's not calling.
Yep. It's like 3rd and 5. We got him. We got him with the low one. Nope. And I know Comment just thinks, hey, Jacoby, just flip your fucking hips, turn your eyes.
That's not what I think.
Throw to the open
very
guy.
difficult. I don't
know.
He's NFL quarterback.
Javarius Ward, he's just going to let it right over his head. The safety won't break,
But you're saying he's NFL quarterback here.
I mean,
I'm wrong. You guys are right. I agree. It's just a tough scene.
But anytime that footage makes it out there, there is a young prince in waiting.
Monday morning quarterback.
That is the pressure you have as a quarterback, though, when there is another guy behind you waiting. I think that has a little something to do. I think Sam Darnold is very, very good, but once J.J. McCarthy got hurt, you don't have that kind of, it's a little more freedom when you're playing at any position, but especially that quarterback position. But no excuses, no explanations. It's big boy football. You got to figure it out, make plays.
Look at this.
Backed up. Rams backed up as DBs, as defenses. This is, you get a little more thirsty, a little more hungry when quarterbacks are backed up. Torrey Taylor did a pretty good job this game, right?
Yeah. 35-yard punt here to pin them inside their 10 with 1:03 left in the fourth quarter. Obviously massive. He also had a 66-yarder.
So got to drive the length of the field. Now, Brisker did a great job, a great instinctive player for the Chicago Bears. Covered 3. Now, I always talk about as underneath zone defenders playing routes high to low, depending on the defense and how you're coached. Sometimes in zone, you're coached and taught to get the spots. Sometimes you relate to the actual routes. I think this is more so of a spot drop. Some defensive coordinators, Chuck used to call it, hey, it's a high school cover 3, and he does a great job getting a little read out on the receiver, expanding, keeping vision on the quarterback once again, breaking on intentions. You're playing at high to low, so you got one behind you, you got one in front of you. You don't bite up on that short one and give that deep one. Great job playing the ball and picking off Matty Stafford.
They also want to enhance the face there.
Oh, yeah, they did for sure.
Jeez.
Stafford got it.
Yeah. So, Stafford, look, come on, man, see it from the back angle.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think we have the back angle.
Oh, no, back angle, okay.
No, back angle, yeah, can't.
Hey, but great job. Cover 3. Rotating down from a split safety look. Now it's going middle close, which is single high. Curl flat window. Quarterback should see him. Guy right in his face.
What's going on there? You guys are cheating or what?
No.
Bam! Jeez.
Whoa.
Jeez Louise.
That's why we play the game.
Yeah, I don't know how that didn't get called, but
Against Matt Stafford, too.
Yeah, 1 minute left.
It's game, baby.
Hey, we're not laughing because it's good. We're just saying, boy, I can't believe that didn't get called. Well, that's a great pick, though. Good eyes. Good eyes back there, AJ. AJ's gone.
Oh, no.
I'm right here.
One
in front, one behind, bro. One in front, one behind. You made it make the tough throw.
That's right.
AJ's locked in.
Absolutely, learning.
Another guy locked in, Kirby Joseph. Once again, I feel like every week he's another guy. Xavier McKinney, Kirby Joseph, always find a way to find the balls. And stops were kind of few and far between in this game. Fourth quarter, once again, 1st and 10 in this red area. I feel like he picked off, was it Matt Stafford? Week 1.
Yes, sir.
In the end zone when he was wearing the blue in the blue end zone. I think down here they just put Kirby Joseph in this position. Hey, play the middle of the field, read the quarterback, and make a play. And he's kind of see-ball, get-ball player. I don't know if, once again, the GM didn't see him, anticipated he can get this over the top. You needed to score. Once again, game time, game's over. Great. And this replay of him actually securing this catch, like going down, keeping one hand under it, securing it through the fall. Unbelievable play by Kirby Joseph.
Look how high he is.
Yeah.
Snag.
It's nasty. We're the end zone?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, this catch is unbelievable.
They knew, though. Look at his teammates using outside leverage on the left, from here on the left side. Like they're using Joseph.
Yep.
Like they'll have outside leverage on their guys. End zone doesn't show it, but it's good team D. See how they're outside in?
Yep. Outside leverage, just like once again a couple weeks ago, that one robber. Use your help. You know they're going to be trying to attack that end zone. High point this. This is
beautiful.
This is an unbelievable play.
On Calvin Johnson night?
Oh, yeah. This is very Megatron-ish.
That is a phenomenal catch. So he just had a terrible quarterback when he was in high school?
Me? Or him?
Him.
Probably, yeah. Boy. His ball skills, for sure. He made that decision. I'm going to go.
Here's that angle, D-Butt.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
This is unbelievable.
Like, him to secure his catch.
Are you serious?
Hand under it the whole time. Doesn't bobble. Wins the game. Yep. How you doing? Keep it moving.
Game winner. Shout out Kirby Joseph.
Probably Gino's only mistake the whole day. I don't think he did anything wrong other than that. Probably had to force that one because it was end of the game.
Yeah, just got to chuck it.
And the Lions DB, especially now, they're handsy. A lot of flags on the rookie, Terrion Arnold. Carlton Davis was battling with DK all night, a little handsy. But as far as ball skills, Kirby Joseph, he's going to go up and get that ball. Seems like every week.
That was phenomenal.
Oh yeah, he's a big time player. Whenever you pick one off, I mean, in the end zone, that's a highlight that'll live forever for him.
Game ceiling.
All right, so
that
we
high
got
point. He's got to be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be 11 feet in the air.
Yeah.
12.
He was up.
That's
fully
way
extended,
up there.
yeah.
I assume there's some camera angle with that catch that is going to be. He's going to look like he is flying through the air because his body even turns. So I think he's flat at one point while he's in the sky.
That's a poster, and then to come down and keep that like that. That's incredible.
That's maybe down the stairwell. There's me jumping. There's me catching, and then I kept the fucker off the ground right down there. If you see my hand underneath that,
see ball, get ball. That's Kirby.
Hell yeah,
Kirby Joseph.
That's a hell of a
football,
play.
But yeah,
He's been good since he was a rookie too. Just another guy Brad Holmes drafted, and he just came out and has been balling ever since.
They had a bunch of draft graphics.
They did.
Obviously, Aiden Hutchinson and
truck.
Benet were interviewed to get next to each other.
Yep.
There's a lot of draft graphics.
They had one of those cool Monday Night Football graphics where they built the truck out of the draft picks because that's Detroit.
That's right.
It is.
One pick at a time. Remember a couple years ago they were all tripping on acid, all those graphics?
They're still
They screw around with
They were getting real funky there.
Real. It was real. Whoever was the creative director.
Jordan Davis would
had some explored the space.
They did.
And,
Edgar Allan Poe one time.
We respect it.
Yeah, the Ravens, that was sweet.
AJ, they explored the space, didn't they?
They really did. You know what? I like him taking a shot. You're not going to hit a home run every time, but I like him taking shots at it.
Baseball's happening. That's a good reference on you. Rest in peace, Pete Rose.
Rest in peace.
Man, Charlie Hustle. Sliding headfirst into first base, which was the best.
Cincinnati Reds fan. You know, this guy.
I mean, come on now. I'm from Ohio, Reds fan. I mean, Charlie Hustle is the man. You better never loaf on your way to first base no matter what because of Pete Rose.
Don't go, Pete.
Unbelievable on TV. Unfortunately, it was a short-lived TV career, but he was great when he was on Fox.
Agreed. That 6-minute video I watched last night, it's like the third time I've watched it. I feel like I could go be a major league hitter after watching it.
Yeah.
He goes, if I'm quick on it, I just move up in the box. If I'm slow, I back up. If they're jamming me, I move back in the box. And if it's too far away, I move up in the box. Everybody wants to change their swing whenever you're in the middle of a slump. Your swing got you to the majors. Maybe let's just change our alignment a little bit, and then we'll kind of see how it goes. And then A-Rod and Frank Thomas were like,
oh, shit.
Never fucking thought of that.
So smart. So simple.
And he's like holding his bat. He's like, yeah. And he's got these cowboy boots on. He looks fucking awesome. He's holding the bat. And they're using home plate backwards, which I found interesting. Like, the field was built on the set out that way. Like, home plate was that way. They were talking towards the back of the set. So he's lining up in the right batters. Here it is, yeah. And but he's talking as if he's a lefty. And I'm like, oh, this is probably how they chat. Yeah, like it's going that way. Here he is. If I'm a little slow, I back up. If I'm a little fast, I move up. And they're like, no shit. And then he talked about it because he was righty and lefty hitter, right? And I think
Switch hitter, yeah.
I think they asked him if can he be in a slump in one side and then not on the other side?
Good question.
And he basically said, I'd never get into a slump. And then he went on this whole rant here. It was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Slump.
Wow, watch that.
Yeah.
He was player manager. There's a clip of him that's one of my favorite ever where he comes off of first base and takes the pitcher out and calls in a guy from the bullpen. Like, he was player manager for a little bit. Like, how awesome is that?
Is that real?
Yeah.
It was part of the problem with the whole betting thing, I think.
We're all sick of it. Get him off of there. I'm tired of this guy. Get off. Yeah, you're benched, dude. Who's coming in? Anybody but you. Fucking get out of here. We'll talk after the game, I guess. Coach, player, what, teammate? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Pete. Guy could hit baseball.
Yeah. Legend.
He had 5 total strikeouts on that graphic in his 46-game hit streak or whatever it was. I was reading it this morning. So 5 total strikeouts in 46 games or something like that. It's just unbelievable at the game of baseball. If he was a Pittsburgh Pirate, now I know we had Barry Bonds and Jason Kendall. Obviously, his pop time is top 5 all time.
Clemente during those days.
Yeah, well, that was before I was on. But yeah, you're right. But if Pete Rose was a part of the history of the Pirates, I think there's a little bit better chance more people interested in baseball in Pittsburgh. I assume there's a lot of cities that are like that. Cincinnati and Ohio, certainly a place that's like, so this guy runs his ass off, talks shit, is entertaining, and is also one of the best to ever do it. Yeah, okay. We love this guy.
Perfect.
And Pete Rose in Ohio feels like a perfect fit, legitimately.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been a better fit.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Pete.
Got another Cincinnati legend.
Who that?
Jamar Chase.
Sorry, who they?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
on me.
Mhm.
Yep. All right.
Don't want to hear from that fan base. 3rd and 3.
What are you saying about
we
that?
got Jamar Chase backside, the 3x1. I mean, he's a great player. I love Jamar Chase. They should pay him every dollar. You'll see why on this play, but terrible tackle. You pause it right.
My fault.
Yeah, you're good. If you want it and just pause it right after the catch. Like, you come down, you're making a tackle. Don't turn that shoulder. If you're coaching your kids, wrap up, get the guy to the ground. These guys are too good to just shoulder bump, try to hit him to the ground. I believe 3 broken tackles on this play. It's a 3rd and 3. Ever since Dalton's been in there this game, this team has been competitive. These are one of those games that are absolute backbreakers. The defense, you go in, you play 60 snaps. It's usually 4 or 5 explosive.
Did you hear?
I did hear.
There's some allegations.
He may have had some substances on him.
They're saying Baby Oil. Baby Oil is really coming into conversation all of a sudden in a big way. Was that Baby Oil 1000? I don't know. But this one, they're saying maybe Baby Oil. You laughable. I'm not wearing Baby Oil. What do you think this is?
Maybe. Let's get a closer look from the back copy.
Let's do it. I appreciate the fact that he's tough to tackle, though, and everybody says, you got to be cheating.
He always has been from day one when he stepped into the league. His run after catch has been amazing. Obviously, he's a deep ball threat, but you can't give this up. You can give up a 25-yard catch across the middle, but you got him like this. 4 guys around him, you got to get him on the ground. 1 missed tackle, 2 missed tackle, 3 missed tackle with bad leverage. You can't give up explosive.
Was that 2-9 that wanted nothing of that right after he made the catch?
I believe that was 2.
If he chops him low, he's down. That's where you got to chop him low and wrap.
Yep.
But I
get it. It happens quick. So I'm not saying like it's easy. It's not easy by any means.
Is that in leverage?
Right there, outside. If he's outside in, he sends him back to his teammates even if he misses that one. Trust me, this is something I work on with little kids every single day. It's really hard to get them to do this.
Are you talking about first hit?
First hit, yep.
That, but watch, coming up.
The last one is the worst.
The last one, the leverage. If you're outside in here, look, if he goes at the outside leg, even if he misses it, Jamar has to turn back into the whole team chasing.
What do they say? Outside fly board.
Outside in. Take your shot if you got pursuit. Now, if you one-on-one open field, that's a lot tougher. But you missed that shot up the sideline. That's where most big plays happen in the NFL is up the sideline. You cannot give that up.
Are the Bengals back?
First win, big win. The first one. Maybe they get on a little roll here. You got Joe Burrow, who has been playing good football this year. We know Jamar Chase didn't do much in the preseason. Same thing with T. Higgins. So this is a team that can definitely get rolling.
Hell yeah, I love that. Here's a team that's rolling.
And then this is a team that is absolutely rolling. You see J-Mo down the bottom of the screen.
Rolling.
Now this was the most egregious bad D probably of the year. You got him in the cut split. Now it's a lot of weapons. It's a lot of weapons with this Detroit Lions offense. But this is a speed guy. You got to be aware. You can't have they don't have a safety in the middle of the field. Right now, it just looks like it's probably a deep post safety that's back. It's not. Nobody's back there. The corner, I don't know if he's playing like he expects somebody back there. Up top, St. Brown will be wide ass open as well. But coming off this play action, 1st and 10, we talked about 1st and 2nd down passing. He catches that. Once he getting bad leverage, you let him get outside, and it is good night, Irene. So I don't know if that was a miscommunication from the sideline getting into the huddle, but to not have a safety on the back end. Jenkins is a safety right here. He's coming down. He's actually blitzing from, who knows where.
Great dodge by Laporta here.
Michigan.
Yeah. It's always a coach that say you blitz from some random ass city in the state. So he's blitzing from Flint, Michigan, and nobody back in the deep part of the field. I mean, Tariq Woolen, he's pointing like he's expecting to pass it to a guy, but nobody was there, just complete mishap. And I mean, the guys can make a play, guys can break tackles, guys can make phenomenal catches, but you can't give up a 70-yarder.
He starts high-stepping at 27.
Oh, yeah.
He is
D-But,
yes, sir.
in general, last night's game, would you say great offense or bad defense?
Great offense. Great offense.
Okay,
I think
good.
balance. They were missing some people, as far as rushing the passer, but great offense, great balance. The stat Pat put out there that Hembo shot him as far as, the run game and the play action game, marrying that up. Ben Johnson, I thought his timing of the play calls, even the trick play, how stupid you can look if that shit doesn't work. But when it does work, you look like a fucking genius. So I think Ben dialed it up all day long.
You look like a genius, ladies and gentlemen. Everything DB, good D, bad D. A Tuesday staple of this season, in the trenches tomorrow. That should be a good conversation.
Oh, yeah.
J.J. Watt tomorrow.
Ooh.
Coach Saban on Friday.
Nice.
Chuck Pagano on Thursday.
Right.
Of course.
Lombo.
Happy birthday, Connie, once again.
September
Constance,
26th.
Constance, yeah.
Constance, yeah.
She's a week older than she was last week. Last week she turned a year older than she was the day before. Happy birthday to Constance Pagano. Fucking
dog.
She's a skier, very strong.
Sumo champ.
That's what he said when he was describing her. She's a skier, so she was real strong.
Good balance.
Turned 70, right?
So awesome.
Turned 70?
Yeah, I think so. Hanging out.
Still wrestling.
Sumo wrestling?
Still wrestling, she said.
She's got to be the greatest female American sumo wrestler of all time. Constance Pagano.
Yeah.
You would think.
Pilates instructor.
Mount Rushmore.
Definitely on Mount Rushmore.
John Wick, she worked. Keanu Reeves, remember he worked? She worked with
Pilates,
her.
yeah, Pilates, still to this day. I wonder if she's smoking cigs. Keanu's a big cig smoker, isn't he?
Seems like
Speaking
it.
of cigs, there's one down in Bloomington that's wagging. First time in 57 years they're 5-0 down there. The IU Hoosiers football team. He actually sent a text message out to every student going, hey, listen, we're doing some shit here that hasn't happened in a long time. We're going to need you. Come and show up. They did. I have not, since living here in Indianapolis, in the Indiana area, obviously, even in the bad years for the IU basketball team, Assembly Hall is sold out. It is packed. They are a basketball school through and through. The football team has gone through a lot of changes since I've got here. Signetti comes in here, starts an NIL program. Okay, starts raising some money, starts generating some juice, and now for the first time in 57 years, they're 5-0, and the IU faithful are behind them. I mean, it is a real wagon right now. And in this Big Ten, obviously you're going to have some monsters that you're going to have to play every single year, but there's a chance that IU can get some good players and make a run. Sig, Google him. Sig wins.
He wins. Guy wins.
That's literally what he does. And him doing it in Bloomington, not an easy task. You know, it's your second fiddle in the sports thing. That doesn't happen in a lot of places. In the fans' eyes, I assume in the administration's eyes, in the boosters' eyes, like in a lot of eyes, you're second fiddle because the IU basketball is so historic and great and the Hoosier stripes and yada, everything like that. So for him to come in and flip it and then text every student and then show up and win afterwards, like that's a big deal because they lose that game. All the Hoosiers fans are going, we got this guy fucking texting us. We're forced to get a text message like that U2 album we got on our phones 20 years. We're forced to get this text message. But instead they win. It's like now they all feel like they're kind of a part of it. It's something special growing down.
Yeah, Sig Signetti's awesome. He did the text before like, hey, studying can wait, the tailgate can wait. Let's get inside the stadium. And then after it, texted him again or emailed him again and thanked him and said, we'll see you again for Nebraska for homecoming. They're favorites this weekend against Northwestern to potentially go 6-0, and then they have Nebraska at home.
Homecoming?
That's 7, and Washington's not Washington, and Michigan State's still down. That's 8-0. Then they get Michigan and Ohio State. Tough, and then Purdue. I mean, this could be a two-loss team if things go the way they want them to go.
And what does that mean? 12-team playoff?
Potentially.
What are they going to do? Jesus.
That would be awesome.
That would be crazy. If Sig Signetti comes in and lights it up and is just like, so what, now what? This is IU football.
So after Google me.
Think about Midwest now, okay? Obviously, Google me, I win. And everything he did for us at JMU, we're very thankful for. Signetti's been good to us in our short term of knowing him. From Pittsburgh, grew up in West Virginia, like at Paisan, been around a long time. Like he is literally everything that we're. He's everything we're looking for, like in a human. You know, like we are big fans of his. But I don't think, me personally, as somebody who's lived here for over a decade now, I didn't think there was any chance. I thought like Signetti, okay, going down there, he'll get some wins, he'll be able to do it. For the amount of juice that he's been able to generate in such a quick time, it's like good for him. Joe Buck's obviously rocking the Signetti shirt. It's like
good merch.
The IU fans are good fans too. They have been for the basketball team. If you give them a reason, like they are a good school, a good alumni, and it's like, here we go. Hoosiers.
And allegedly the basketball team just spent a ton of money on grabbing a bunch of new players. So, you know, if this football team starts to do this, basketball team starts to do this, it's going to be a lot of pressure over there. And that money might be going towards the football program.
So I understand what you're saying, but IU basketball is like
staple.
It's
brother.
Well, if a local sports personality has anything to say about it, they're dancing a little bit too much on that basketball team.
There does seem to be a lot of TikTok trends in a lot of these media days.
Basketball especially.
A lot of dancing. A lot of dancing.
Yep. New generation.
These new generation, young generation. If you win, who cares? You lose, though, it's going to get held against you. You just need to know that. You just need to know that. That's just reality of situation. Reality of situation.
You got to stop it.
That's Zito. Zito's yelling, old man yelling at the cloud. That's him. That's him. Big TV tonight. Hope everybody watches. Should be fun. I'm sure everybody will love each other more tomorrow because of it. Let's,
you're right.
Let's
You're
do
right.
D-Bucks, let's do a giveaway, bro.
Night. Baseball?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
You're right.
Exactly. Is that the TV?
You're right. Slam the edge.
Tigers are up 3-0 right now. Last I checked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Schoolball.
D-Bucks, let's do a giveaway. Unify the people. You're right. Baseball's on tonight for us.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Slam Diego.
Slam Diego.
That's right. Everybody's watching.
Everybody.
You know, Ravi knows the starting pitcher since he's a child. His dad, journalist, sat in the same newsroom. He was there whenever he was born. Ravi actually caught him like this.
Celebrating birthdays.
Little Michael. Michael King.
Listen, D-Bucks, you beat the shit out of that microphone.
Yeah,
you
no.
do whatever you got to do. I don't like the way that microphone's talking to you either.
It's a little reckless.
Maybe
looking at you sideways a little bit.
maybe D-Buck could hit 10 threes in a row for this giveaway today.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. New champs. Champs are back.
Champs are back.
Yeah, man.
After one of the greatest performances of all time.
If I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna take an L. If I lose, if we lose the belt,
Bingo.
we got to go out to a performance
Why
like
are
that.
they selling piece of medals in front of them?
I actually have to shake your hand.
Fantastic.
It was an honor to be there. It
No
was an
rim.
honor to be a part
10
of
in a
that.
row, no rim.
10 straight. 10 straight, AJ. Made
Penn
it.
State made threes in the game in 33.
Yeah, boom, bang, pop, pop. No rim either. We're talking like
Buckets.
Splash.
the splashiest splashes that have ever come off my hand. So, first round, I'm close, but I'm bricking a lot. But I literally come out and say, it's coming off my hand pretty good right
Feels
now.
good.
I'm really feeling it right now. And then the next round, I just, in fuego. The best shooting I've ever done in my entire life. Didn't shoot again the rest of the day. I might never shoot a basketball ever. I might
Understandable.
legitimately never shoot a basketball again. It felt so good. It felt so good. And champs are back, obviously. But because we are a giving champion,
Right.
me and Foxy.
Of course.
He won Moonball too, I think, didn't he?
I won a couple games of Moonball as well. That was a good day for us.
It was a good day for
And then the
us.
Lions won.
Okay. In the Motor City Muscle Tarps.
That's right.
Wow. What a day. And the Tigers are up 3-0.
Tigers might win.
All right, Zito, do you know how to cut those cameras?
Oh.
Foxy.
There you go.
All right, Foxy.
Yeah.
Things
What are we doing?
Things are going good. I don't know, buddy. It's going to be something basketball. You're going to have to pick and choose, obviously, whatever you'd like to do. You can shoot some free throws. You can shoot some threes. You can do the
Threes.
entire. Foxy, how many free throws have you made in a row before? 93 straight free throws. 93. That takes a lot of time, obviously. He's not hitting the rim, though, on those. Those are splash, dropping straight down. He's walking over, getting it. We're right back in motion. It's almost like an exercise. Foxy, the basketballs are over here. What do you want to do?
Basketball.
What though?
We'll just shoot from here.
From here.
Whoa.
Ladies and
He's
gentlemen,
confident.
Evan Foxy, who is currently the reigning, defending, undisputed, shout out to Paul Heyman, 33 champion of The Office, is going to attempt a stage shot. If he's able to make this, we will give 30 people $500.
Whoa.
Evan Fox!
Let's go.
30 people!
Wow.
$500.
Wow.
What a shot. That's my teammate. That's my teammate.
They're hot right now.
Man.
Hoops are looking a little bigger for us right now.
That was never.
And that's good news. All you got to do is repost this post, say something nice to somebody, and put the easiest way to pay you. And we will randomly select 30 people because Foxy is drip, drop top, splash bot right now.
For shoot.
Good for you, Foxy.
Thank you.
Foxy.
Some people
shot,
don't
Foxy.
believe in momentum. I mean, we just witnessed momentum right
Yep.
there. That felt good.
Yeah, but we're not taking those people as serious as we used to. Anyways,
Good
be a
point.
friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. That's the real deal. Legit, that is the real deal. We're in this thing together. Let's never forget it, especially after tonight. When this baseball game gets real intense
Yep.
and somehow a microphone gets onto the field and you're hearing people say the complete opposite of each other.
Sure.
And they're saying the other side is the most evil of all time. And you potentially agree with one of those sides. So somebody's calling you evil. So you got to send back and say, well, you're fucking evil. And whenever that's happening in that baseball game tonight, remember, we all got to share this rock here for the foreseeable future. Okay? Let's remember that.
Oh, yeah.
And once in a while, got to put our swords aside, even though, people seemingly have to yell it from the rooftop. We're in this thing together.
Need a scoreboard.
We do need a scoreboard so we can know who we should take more serious.
Mm-hmm. Who's keeping the score?
Well, that's always the issue. Because
Jesus.
here in sports, we got to, I don't think Jesus is separation of church and state, brother. But the sports, we have a scoreboard. So we know who to take serious and who not to take serious. Politics needs to figure that one out because we would like to know.
Yeah.
I like to know who we should be listening to.
I think Ballmer's on it.
I'm sure. He's got a great new arena over there.
Oh, yeah. A lot of toilets.
The most in the league. Anyways, we're in this thing together. Let's never forget it. Never forget it. We're in this thing. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, will be in Thunderdome tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
What?
Wow.
This was announced on Monday Night Raw last night. WWE Champion Cody Rhodes will be live in the Thunderdome tomorrow. What an honor. Ba-da-boo, 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 ba-da-boo. Whoa! Nailed it. Nailed it. Fucking nailed it. Okay?
Can't
Us and Cody Rhodes.
Hell yeah.
Holy shit.
Wow.
That's a good sign.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait to talk to him tomorrow. Bad blood this weekend down in Atlanta. Should be great. All right. Be your friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Team on three. 1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.